last but certainly not least, the Honourable Patrick Nsamba. He is the Kassanda North Member of Parliament. Good morning, Honourable.
Good morning, Joel and viewers. Thank you for once again giving us the opportunity to talk about the age limit.
We're glad that all you gentlemen are here. Just for purposes of clarity, all these three members of Parliament belong to the ruling NRM. But him, the ones with the red caps, are opposed to the lifting of the presidential age limit, even though they belong to the NRM. But the Honourable Jackson Kafuzi is for the removal. We will get to that in a bit. But let's begin with Afande, and we need to release him because he has a lot of work to do in town. So for those of you that are getting set to go to town, after here, Afande will be with you. Afande, we saw the arrests of several people yesterday, and of course previously, but let's focus on yesterday. Some of them brutal arrests of people who are, clad with the red bandanas, some were protesting, and so on and so forth. And we saw police raining very heavily on them, and we are trying to understand what offense did these people commit?
Well, I think when we talk about arrest, we need to look at, that's at the end state. But the beginning point is the intelligence we receive in line with the operations we conduct. And we subject this intelligence to threat assessment. Threat assessment gives us a strategy to employ and also defines the tactical parameters. Now, for yesterday, specifically, there was a lot of mobilization, almost in the stronghold for opposition in Kampala. And their purpose and plan was to march in procession and come to Parliament, calling upon people to join them. And remember last week, we issued a circular. There was a message from the Inspector General saying, for security reasons, though it's a constitutional right to have procession and demonstration, but for this period, we are not allowing procession or demonstration, those in favor or against the amendment.
So when you say for this period, the processions and the protests should not happen, then when should it happen? In 2026 or what? Because this, according to them, is when it matters, and they're saying, look, we are peaceful, we are doing this peacefully. Students at the universities, Makerere, some folks around town, and they're saying, look, we are using our constitutional rights to demonstrate peacefully.
It's easy to say peaceful, but once they start, again from experience, they don't end peacefully. So it's just not stopping us saying it's going to be a peaceful demonstration, but the intelligence we get goes beyond that. Because when you plan to go and burn the city, that's not a peaceful demonstration, that's not a peaceful procession. So what matters a lot is the threat assessment we get, and that defines our strategy on how we employ our resources.
Let me be sure I hear you right, Afande. You are saying it's easy to say it's going to be a peaceful protest, but it always turns out to be something else. You seem to, as police, say that you have outlawed totally. I don't know if you have the authority to. Of course, legally, according to the Constitution, you don't. But you seem to say you have outlawed all protests, even those that are peaceful, because according to you, you're saying they always turn out to be rowdy and riotous. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying, for example, to be specific for yesterday, when there is a procession, there must be an organizer who must notify us. For that matter, it was not there. And once there is no leadership in that direction, ultimately, people will come with different views on how to approach this. So ours, it's a right, it's a constitutional right, but notify us. And then we guide you on what to do. But for yesterday,
you're saying there was no notification?
There was no notification.
But when the notifications come, still you say no. The IGP, you just said that. He wrote a letter saying, we have gotten notices from different people, but we have said no to them. And they're saying, so what's the use of notifying you?
When you notify us, you must fulfill the formal requirements. It's not just a matter of notification. All ingredients fulfilled. So when we say no, that means there are some elements which have not been handled.
Okay, let's hear from the legislators. We will get to the crux of the age limit debate, but since we have Afande here for a short time, let's talk a bit about the way police responded. You wanted to come in, Honorable Samba.
Yes, it's very unfortunate that we are witnessing our police operating in the way they're operating. On one hand, we view pictures of people saying we remove Article 102B, and they are highly guarded by the same police. If 2-3 individuals came out to say no to age limit removal, you'll see Afande Mwesigwa and his men swinging in action so quickly. And that comes at a time when you're having a police which is not serving the people of Uganda, but which is partisan. In the laws of this country, we do not expect if you've chosen that these people are demonstrating about Article 102B, the same protection you give one group is the same protection you should give the other. But if you come and disperse of this one, and you give protection to this one, you also allow, of course for him he's giving annex you that
no. Listen, I'm not a police person, and like I said, I do not take on the role of a government spokesperson. What I'm trying to say is that police being informed by whatever happened in those countries, probably their policing mechanisms have changed. But the issue is, if they have changed, are they operating within the law? Let us assume that they are more on alert now than they were then. But is what they are doing within the law?
Do you think now, let us assume the law when the IGP writes a letter and says, we have gotten notices from different groups and different people that want to protest peacefully, but I have said no to all of them. Is that within the law? Let's allow him to respond to that.
Let me give him a simple example. Anite, on one hand, they are both members of parliament. They are talking in parliament. On one hand, Anite comes and incites the army, and he says, for us, this article must go through because we have an army. Nsereko Sechikubo comes up and say, no, you are not going, you will not get it because we have Ugandans.
Okay, so that's where the challenge is. Because again, in Lira, for example, people were clamped down for protesting against the removal of presidential age limit. A short while ago, there were those that were for this, for the removal. Yeah. But those that were against the removal were clamped down. The ones that were for the removal, saying let's lift it, you know, police gave them protection, and that's where now the double.
Well, I want to assume that you have understood my explanation. What I'm trying to say is, we have institutions that govern us. If the police is doing whatever they are doing on the wrong side of the law, they should be held accountable. That's why we got caught.
Okay.
Anyone who is concerned got caught. And I partly wish to condemn the police if they are doing the things they are alleged to be doing.
Okay, very well put. I need to bring Afande Mwesigwa back in, but before I do, Honorable Mbo, I know you had concerns about police deployment at Parliament and so on. Talk to us about that.
Thank you so much, Joel. I think our police is acting in an unprofessional way, much as they are claiming they are professional, but they are not. If Ugandans can't run to Parliament, where they know that they have their members of Parliament, we have offices in Parliament, where do they want Ugandans to go? And Afande is claiming that they are arresting people who are having processions because they are fearing it might even turn to be maybe bloody or what. But let me ask, Robert Mao is a honorary member. He was previously a member of Parliament. If Norbert Mao is coming to Parliament to listen to the proceedings of the Parliament, when there is a gallery, he comes in his own car, not even accompanied by 1 or 2, 3 people. You come and arrest him at the entrance. Can it justify what Afande is trying to tell us?
Afande, respond to these concerns that these people are raising.
Thank you. Well, let me start with Honorable Samba. There are two things. Last week on Monday, there was a procession organized by a group of people who are in support of the amendment. And when they came to us, we said no. On Thursday, we arrested some members, a section of members of the team, which was from Kabaragara, with T-shirts for NRM, supporting the amendment.
That's not true. Let me actually remind you about that incident, Afande. Those young people were clad in T-shirts with yellow and Museveni's picture. And what actually happened as they approached your police officers, they just kept on looking at them. And then when they got close, they began saying, Tojo Kwatako, Muse, give us services. And now it turned out actually they were against. And that's why now your men came and held.
That's different. You see, they were putting on yellow T-shirt. If we are partisan, we would say, these are Kodes not.
No, actually, that's what happened.
No, we had not.
Them. No, we had not. When they began chanting and saying, that's when they were arrested.
See, Joel, when people start organizing this procession,
yes, we have the videos. We showed them on TV.
We are not there. We are not there. But once we get information, we come in. Now, it's not true that we support one side and we don't. Ours, the message is clear.
But
those in favor,
the actions show otherwise.
Against,
I mean,
but I've told you a group of Kampala cadres who are trying, and we're in support, and we said no. So that's response number one. Response number two, it's not the mandate of police to say that if you're a member of parliament, we should tell you where to have this demonstration or procession. It's not our role. And when you call people to parliament, I don't think parliament is convenient because these people vote you to go and represent them. So I don't think when you call upon the whole constituency to come to parliament, what it means. Now, our role in
does
this
it
one,
break the law if people decide, you know what, let's go to parliament and we're going to demonstrate peacefully and want to take our message to the MPs.
Now that's the response. Now that's where I'm coming. Just a minute. When you say you are going to demonstrate, are you following our POMA requirement?
So they are all the groups come to you and you say no. But those are live pictures coming in from parliament. Those are MPs getting in. I'm sure you need no introductions about whose car that one is. The other day it was parked outside Ministry of Finance and somebody went to help themselves out. They have conceded. By the way, I'm hoping the legal force will take it up, because if people can be arrested for trespassing, stepping on the grass, if somebody decides they are going to ease themselves on the wall of Ministry of Finance, they should be taken on legally. But that's a story for another day.
And the process is called aggregation.
You need to let me really conclude this and
yes,
our response is determined by two things. Number one, following the law. Number two is the threat assessment I told you. Once you fulfill the requirements, we have no problem. But once we say no, then there must be a reason. And
those requirements
we explain.
As the
for example, when you are planning to have a demonstration, one, we expect you to tell us how many people are you expecting? What is the venue? Have you got the consent of the owner of the venue? The timelines, from what time to what time? So now, if you just say, oh no, you go on radio and say, come to parliament, what are you talking about? How would you know that the people even you have organized are the same people who are coming? How would you know? How about when there is infiltration? How would you detect that? So we must get more organized when we are organizing these constitutional rights. It's not just a matter of calling people to parliament. You must inform us.
Joel, can you help me ask
you must inform
something?
Us.
Yes, ask something.
I wish to ask you this. When in parliament, our people normally bring petitions.
Absolutely.
And if they are bringing petitions, a petition is not brought by one person or two. We normally have 10, 20, 30, and they come and meet the speaker.
No, but
and they don't need to have a notes to give a notes and an invitation card that please you come on this day. So how do you differentiate that these people are having a petition, they're having problems vis-a-vis?
Yeah, but it's you who calls them. When you call them, do you call them to bring a petition? You see, even when you are bringing a petition, there are procedures. For example, the leaders of that petition must come and meet the speaker and say, this is our petition, but we have a big number. Give us a day, we come. That's the procedure. You don't just wake up 100 people that you are going to take a petition. That's not the procedure.
I explained something simple, and I expected that you thought in the protection of people's rights to demonstrate, which I think you're putting out totally in the laws of the police. You want to deny Ugandans that right of demonstration, you are aware this is a contentious matter, unless you're not a Ugandan. Yes, you can be a police officer who is not a Ugandan, but I'm sure you're Ugandan. You know this is a contentious matter. A non-partisan police, what they would do, they would say, yes, parliament is a small place. We don't want anybody who is going to demonstrate around parliament. Okay? But we have gazetted such and such a place, this and which can take as many people as possible. Whoever wishes to demonstrate against, we've gazetted this one. Another professional police, what will do is say, yes, there could be antagonism between those who are supporting and those who are not supporting. Then you gazette another place and say, for those who want who are for, this is your place. For those who are against, this is your place.
I think all you're doing. Let's not cover under the word demonstration.
Afande, all you're doing,
because
all the police
between me and you,
what the police of Uganda police is doing, is whoever is against and wants to show that I'm against, that person deserves to be behind bars.
By the way, Honorable, before you come in, you see people use the cover of demonstration to fulfill their other objectives. This one I must tell you.
Like who?
if, of course, I will not mention names.
Among those that
There is a time even the Kororo ceremonial ground was gazetted, but nobody could go there. Why? Because they know their mobilization skills, they know where to get people, and they know their intentions.
But you see, go to Kololo and demonstrate to trees.
I come from Uganda.
But he's telling us gazetting. So if we gazette it, what happens?
Let's allow Honorable Kafuzi.
You see, when I spoke earlier, I said whatever we do, we must do within the law. When we were growing up in primary, we were taught the duty of police is to protect, to keep law and order. And our constitution is very emphatic on freedom of association, freedom of expression, freedom of conscience. Now, association presupposes that you are more than one. You cannot associate by yourself. Now, there are two duties of police: to keep law and order. But what I'm seeing, and from what my other colleagues are pointing out, is that the police is keeping order and not the law. They are very concerned about what may come out of the demonstration, but they are not concerned about how the demonstration should go, and that these people who are demonstrating have the right to do so. Now, I would propose that we go back to the drawing board. Because, like I said earlier, police is concerned so much with the security, which is okay, because we all want to be safe. Okay? But you see, security must also be with the law. You understand? Security must also be with the law. People have a right to demonstrate. That right has to be respected. The courts have pronounced themselves on that several times in so many cases, because people have rights to go and demonstrate. Now, if you are saying, yes, we respect your right to demonstrate, but the situation is not so good, we cannot be comfortable with you demonstrating in such and such an area, you gazette areas where people can go. So then we know whoever demonstrates outside those areas will have violated a police directive. Do you understand?
Is that not a welcome avenue? Although, of course, some people contest it, but let's start from there.
Absolutely, as you said, who would wish to go to Kororo?
But you first do it, and then the contestation.
No, but there are places which are real, even in the constituency in Kampala, when they write to us and they say this is a brave ground, and we allow people really to. You ask all these honorable MPs in Kampala, they have those areas which are really known. When you go to Kasokoso, when you go to Chita,
especially for rallies.
Not only for rallies, even when they have other meetings, really, and they have a message to give out. They mention those.
So what you're saying is that if it's going to be, about 3 people, and for them they are going on Kampala Road or that kind of thing, that is illegal.
That's procession. It's a procession.
And so it is illegal to hold a procession.
It's not illegal. The message was very clear. We said we have intelligence information about what is likely to happen.
But why does that intelligence information come conveniently when somebody, writes to you and says, look...
In Polish terms, it is called reasonable suspicion.
But for him, it's not suspicion. For him, it's credible intelligence.
Let me tell you how it is. One act to tell you that those people are not ready to guarantee the rights and the freedoms of Ugandans.
Or to keep law and order.
Or to keep law and order. Is this what they've started? Nsamba, you are arrested at your home. You're not even allowed to move out of your home.
Preventive arrest.
Because you suspect you're going to go and they say no to age limit.
Is it?
But that's, you see, our law of police is very clear.
That's what you're doing these days.
And the Article 212 gives us the mandate. Now, when we talk about to detect crime, now, when we say we get intelligence and we make a threat assessment, it's our role. I don't expect you to be the one to tell us what we expect.
But how
it's
often
our role
have you detected those who are killing those women in Entebbe?
But we have them.
Okay, when you say you have them, actually what you have, and I think we need to clarify this, because you see, Many times, you folks in police, I've even seen your IGP Kaihura, who is a lawyer. He will parade suspects and he says, this one has been terrorizing people, the other one has been killing people, and I'm thinking, but boss, now you have become the court of law, you have tried them and sentenced them, it's illegal. I hope he knows because he's a lawyer. But anyway, when you say you have gotten them, because Honorable Mboa raises something critical, when you say you're very good at detecting and so on, why are you very good at detecting when it comes to politics?
No, it's not.
But when it comes to criminality, you paraded people before courts of law, but saying they are the ones that killed sheikhs, the Muslim clerics. All of them were acquitted. Today, we don't know anybody that did so.
Before he
are waiting for your former colleague, AIGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi. You have paraded people, and many times courts will say, no, there's not enough evidence that you. So looks like police just goes out overzealously and arrests people.
Yes, before he answers, let me just tell you this. Of recent, these guys made a concoction that actually they were threat at Parliament, that people were they were planning to set ablaze the whole Parliament. And what did they do? In their intelligence, they said, do you know what? You need to park your cars at National Theatre, and you, human beings, you just simply move. What do you think? Burning cars and saving lives. What do you think they would have done if it was real?
Just a minute.
Those are concoctions,
You see, I think sometimes we are wrong on our own assessment. Yesterday, I saw people trying to climb the fence of Parliament from the side of KCCA. Now, the intention of those people is unknown to me. And the police would be at liberty to take all necessary measures. So, I do appreciate that police has taken these measures. My only concern is how and when they are taken. That's where I seek clarity.
Now, if I could start with
Norbert Mao. I asked you a question about Norbert Mao.
About the parking issue. Whatever, by the way, happens at that Parliament, it will affect you more, you people who sit there than me. Now, when we say we come up with measures to mitigate the threat, then you should have some respect why we are bringing this. It's not just that we will just wake up and say, don't park. There is information we are following. And whatever happens at Parliament, you are the first victims. So when we took a decision not allow, because we made an assessment of the parking of Parliament, including, yeah, but you see, a car can be used as a weapon. For you, when you are going to Parliament, they search you. Now, when these cars are parked there, you have the cars of the staff, you have the cars of the members of the Parliament, sometimes even visitors come to Parliament. Now, when we say, look, the only parking which is there, let's allow it members of Parliament, and I believe you parked there. Now, the rest of the staff park at National Theatre. It's in the interest of you. It's in the interest of you. It's not in the interest of anyone. And this is the intelligence we get, and you should really allow us to exercise our mandate when we are doing this. Now, on the issue of Honorable Norbert Mao, I think it was last week when he came to Parliament, he had a group of people he came with and some placards. And the officers engaged him, said, Honorable. And on that day, the orders were even not allowing people in the gallery. And like yesterday, when we had members of the public. Now,
yesterday he came.
And yesterday he came.
Yes, he was arrested.
He was alone.
He was alone. He was alone. No, we have live pictures.
No, anyway,
here on MTV.
Okay, if he was alone, that one I need to find out. But what I know, once you organize your small teams and you want to come and have others, because like Norbert Mao is a former member of Parliament, Honorable Matembe is these ones are allowed to go in the gallery and watch. We cannot stop that. But the problem is now this attachment of other people.
So, Afande, you seem to be saying, because you see, it's called the public gallery. You and I, who are not MPs, can actually access it as and when. You seem to say everyone should go as an individual. That if Mwesigwa is my friend and another person, and we decide, you know what, we have an interest in this thing, let's go to the public gallery. Then we cannot, because we are a small organized group of 5, 6,
Can I tell you the information we had even by yesterday of the public gallery? Some people are again organizing to come in the public gallery and start throwing their shoes. That is the information we had. So even those who attended yesterday, we were very critical. The organization, civil society organization, so that we know exactly who is there. Otherwise, the mobilization which has been going on It's not only to affect the plenary down there. Anything can even come from. It has ever happened.
The Prime Minister seems to be speaking to the media there. Let's just listen in briefly if we can.
Okay, tufunye olukiiko lulungi ne speaker tuconsultinze ekitukola many times. Okay? Tubyogeddeko ate n'ebintu ebirala ebindi. Sijja kugenda mu details. Speaker ajja kureleasinga order paper. Mulinde.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister Ruhakana Rugunda, who is just from the meeting held here at Parliament between him and the Speaker, Rebecca Kadaga, and other officials from the NRM party. But we also understand that there has been another meeting that has been held in the office of the Leader of Opposition, Winnie Kiza, by several members of the opposition who are also trying to strategize on how they are going to handle the afternoon. We've been told earlier on by the government chief whip, Ruth Nankabirwa, that on the order paper, the motion by Honorable Rafael Majezi will be on this afternoon for debate. But we also understand that security is not so tight here as we saw maybe yesterday and on Thursday, but we're also still closely monitoring how the situation will be transpiring. But what I can tell you for a fact is that many members of Parliament are already here in Parliament. The opposition guys are putting on their red ribbons, despite the fact that yesterday the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, ruled that this was against the parliamentary rules of procedure. But they've insisted, they're saying that come what may, they will put them on in the afternoon. We're waiting to see how this debate will go on, but we are closely monitoring. Back to you, Joel Senyon in the studios.
All right, thank you, Herbert Ziwa. That's my colleague Herbert Ziwa standing by at Parliament following events as they play out there. He just told you about the meeting where the Prime Minister was with the Speaker, agreeing on a couple of things. Not too much detail was given, but as and when we get that detailed information, we shall relate to you. We need to let go of Afande, but Afande, as we let you go, to go and put the people of Kampala in order, keep law and order, you know, because that's very important. The people of Kampala Metropolitan, which you command, want to hear from you and have a guarantee of sorts that, look, they can get to enjoy their rights, even as you make sure law and order is safeguarded. Because many times they see you folks in the police as partisan. And of course you will say we're not partisan, but then again your actions show a different story altogether. He was telling you examples of when it's those for, you know, the removal of the presidential age limit, it's okay. Those are against, there's a problem, you know. And it took us right from the top, from your boss. Not too long ago, I think it was 2014. He was at Makerere University. The president was meant to be the chief guest. And he could not make it. He sent General Kale Kayihura to represent him. I don't know in what capacity, but... And in his speech to these young people, he was saying, some of you say, hey, Mzee Agende, you know, that he should go. Why should he go? You know, when you have a good leader, you keep him around. Now, those were words coming from the Inspector General of Police. And then here you are telling us that as a police force, you're not partisan. How do you convince us otherwise?
Well, as you have said, for us, our role is really to keep law and order. And we are not anywhere partisan by any measurement. However, and we respect the rights of the people. That's really the baseline. The rights of the people, we respect it 100%. However, when you are enforcing the law, don't expect, and from even the submissions which have been made, of course, the rights of the people should not infringe on the rights of others. That one must be put into consideration. And when we come in as police to regulate, by virtue of a mandate, of course, don't expect all parties to be contented. But to the bottom of my understanding, we respect people's right. The Public Order Management Act is very clear. The right to have demonstration is there. And when they write to notify to us, we also give them information. Because this is our role, to tell them the intelligence we pick from the ground. But sometimes, even when we share this intelligence, some people don't want to take that line. Ours is to make sure the people of Kampala and ultimately, by extension, other areas are protected and the city is safe and secure.
All right, and finally, as we let you go, NGOs Action Aid, Great Lakes Institute for Strategic Studies. Well, some people have used the word raided and so on, but your officers went there, and especially Action Aid is still under lock and key. They cannot access all their premises. Police is not giving them information on what's happening there. What exactly is going on? Are you people still investigating? Have you decided you have closed the offices? What exactly is happening with that issue?
Joe, I find it before you respond to that, I also put this to you. In our opinion, we think the police is now being used as a tool of intimidation, especially in this process we are in, because you are aware as a country we are handling a contentious matter where Ugandans would feel, some Ugandans would feel we should respect the way the constitution was made in reference to age limit, and others are saying it's okay, we can remove this. Now, the way we are seeing police, the deployments you're making, bringing all these huge armored vehicles as if you're going to war. If you see the deployment at Parliament and everywhere, you have even called on the UPDF now. Everywhere there is UPDF in the city.
SFC.
And under normal circumstances, we know that UPDF is deployed on your request. We are seeing you as a tool that is being used to intimidate the people of Uganda to exercise their rights.
Let's allow our friend to respond.
And unless, honorable, we want to take our constitutional mandate as police, because by the virtue, once you look at our deployment in Kampala, it's so effective. And this deployment, as I said, our strategy to deploy is based on the threat assessment. Now, when you criticize it, it's like you are now really knowing more intelligence than what we do.
You seem to say that people are above reproach, that we cannot criticize you and say here you are extending the envelope
when you are,
because the police officers are there, so we cannot say
when
this
you are
is
a journalist and you are in charge of this studio, I must respect you.
Yeah, but you see, you can give me advice. When we get feedback from viewers who say, Joel said, you know, here, improve this and so on. They're not professionals, we are, but we listen to them because we serve them.
But I've been talking about it. I said our deployment is based on the threat assessment. It defines our tactical parameters and our police response.
But I thought when we call about is to use a reasonable force.
Yeah, but
now when you're using reasonable force, and me who is here, I'm ready to be arrested, and you bring a machine gun, I have a right as a member of parliament to tell you, yes, you arrested this man, but the tool you used was not necessary.
How about when you resist arrest?
This is even if you resisted arrest.
Why do you?
This is what we are saying. You calling on the army, anti-terrorism, blah blah blah. You are trying to make a statement that we don't want any Ugandans who utter a word against Article 102.
In fact, our deployment is send a signal that look, we are there to protect people. That is the message. Once we have this deployment.
Okay, and that's what you're going to do after here. The question of Action Aid.
On the question of Action Aid, that's a matter which is still under investigation. And I believe once our teams are done with the investigation, they will open the offices. So let's give it time.
Are you communicating with them because there's lack of clarity and they're saying, look, we want to work, but you guys are not letting us?
No, we're in touch. It's just a matter of investigation.
But it's not only Action Aid.
There's
every other organization where we have somebody who has given an opinion. An opinion, Great Lakes, everywhere. It's not only Action Aid. Where you think that the person working here has an opinion, a different opinion about age limit, those are the organizations.
I don't think so.
Okay, Afande Frank Mwesigwa, we need to let you go, but thank you for talking to us. Okay. Go and make sure Kampala is orderly, it is safe, and that people are enjoying their rights.
Absolutely.
That's very important.
And they will find it in the afternoon very safe for them to enter and deliberate.
Thank you so much. We hope so. But as we let Afande go, let's just take a look at some pictures coming in from Parliament. Members of Parliament are beginning to access, and they are looking forward to the 2 p.m. meeting. We saw those pictures earlier on. I don't know if we can get them again. Okay, there you are. You have about what? Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police officers that are frisking each car as it enters, trying to make sure that all is good, everyone is safe. Okay, so 2 p.m. is the time when there's going to be that showdown. Let's now talk matters Parliament and age limit. Now that we have released Afande, we can get to talk the politics.
To your politics.
To real politics now, as you say. So yesterday we saw what happened in Parliament. The House was adjourned to today, 2 p.m. Why? Because of the chaos that ensued in Parliament. There was flying of chairs. We have seen brawls in our Parliament, but nothing like yesterday. You know, previously there's been a bit of scuffling here and there and so on, but yesterday, fist, fights and throwing of chairs around and so on. Let's get to that, and I'll begin with you, Honorable Mbua. What did you make of what happened yesterday? I actually saw you on the other side with those who are saying, you know what, there are issues, we have got to address them. And when Parliament was adjourned, you were one of those who were very happy. Why?
Thank you so much. Actually, Joel and our viewers, our Constitution is very clear. Whoever tries to act contrary to our Constitution, our mandate, we are supposed to protect and preserve our Constitution. In 1980, our President Museveni, when he claimed he was cheated, he went to the bush. And he went there under the disguise that he was going to defend the Constitution. Let me accept that he actually went and defended the Constitution. So, now, what I want to inform our viewers, that it is our cardinal role to protect our Constitution. And for us, we are not going to the bush as President Museveni did. We are going to defend our Constitution in-house. In-house. And the Constitution does not even tell us that either it's a matter you must get a gun, you must use this force. It tells you to defend.
Well, what exactly was your biggest issue? Those of you, of course, opposed to the lifting of the presidential age limit. What was your issue yesterday? Because legally, somebody can table a private member's bill. So what was your major concern?
True. I think it was done under ambush. We were ambushed. It's true. We know that, the order paper can be amended. But there was a ruling previously before Right Honorable Speaker Jacob Olanya left when he presided over. He said, on this matter, which is very controversial, we shall not go forward to debate about it, not until we are given an advance notice, when we are at least actually informed in advance that, and say, please, maybe a week you will be debating on this matter. But what did we see? These people are trying to do it. The previous night, we got an order paper, and there was nothing to show that the Honorable Raphael Magezi was going to bring the unpopular age limit bill. Then, all of a sudden, we saw Honorable Smell was posting, please, you come in big numbers. You come, and we started hearing rumors that these people actually they wanted to get us unaware. So, what did we do? We wanted to show them that actually what is very important is not to have all those numbers. What is very important is how to mobilize to make sure that this thing can fail. And at the end of the day, we achieved our goal. So, Joel, it was a real ambush, and we are not going to accept. And above all, our colleague Honorable Nsambwa Patrick Oshabe, his motion came first than what they were. In fact, it was on 19th? 18th. And what they were reading, the speaker, what was telling us that we need to follow, it was the one for Honorable Raphael, unpopular age limit bill.
So your concern was the technical issue?
The technical issue.
Okay. So now that the technical issue seems to have been, sorted out or remedied, if you like, Honorable Nsamba, are we going to see you folks allowing the debate to flow smoothly today?
Thank you, Joel. My motion is requesting, re-emphasizing what we agreed on under the Kafero Sechitoleko debate, where we agreed and we said as Parliament, it's not right to deal with the constitutional amendment piecemeal. We should handle constitutional amendment in a comprehensive manner, that we've resorted a particular time specifically for constitutional amendment. Now, I came up with a motion after I saw government backing a private member, all my hopes were saying that yes, private members can come through, but certainly government will be coming up with comprehensive amendments. But on a Friday of 15th, when I saw cabinet backing a private member, I thought through and I said, I think we need to come up with a motion for government to recommit that they will come up with comprehensive amendments. Now, the likes of the Kafuzis, they are aware that if we debated the motion, the Nsamba motion, which desires comprehensive amendment of the Constitution, they will not get what they want so quickly. Because what they want is attached to some incentives. Now, when you give this work to a commission, like I'm requesting a commission of a Constitutional Review Commission, the Kafuzis, the Majezis, the Simeos are going to lose out.
I thought what's going to happen, what should have happened yesterday and is going to happen today, is the tabling of the motion. You go and table motion and say, for me, I am for a Constitutional Review Commission. Then Parliament says, we are giving you leave of Parliament, go draft the bill.
Now,
then Majezi also comes and says,
mine is a motion
is about removal, so go and draft the bill.
Majezi wants to amend the Constitution. My motion is just for debate. Whether government should abdicate its, should give away its own responsibility to a private member. Even the Speaker yesterday, when she was giving her communication, she said, since last year, I required the government to come up with a constitutional review, comprehensive amendments. They've not done it. So my motion is saying government should not take us for granted. Government should take up this responsibility and make sure they come up with these comprehensive amendments. Now, the likes of the Kafuz, the Majezis are the problem now. They want to make sure that they must be seen moving this amendment to please the president. Because for me, that is the only reason I'm seeing around that is pushing them to ensure that they don't want even to hear about the constitutional amendment. The meeting the Speaker was in with the Chief Whip and the Prime Minister, intelligence has it that these motions, the Speaker had scheduled them for today. But they went and put the Speaker and other people, on pressure that the thing must come today, yesterday. And it must be done yesterday. So they don't care about whether
the methodology
we do things the right way. All they care for is to deliver age limit to His Excellency. And once that is done, you will see Kafuz a change demand. You will see Majezi a change demand. They will stop being normal members of Parliament because the rewards are enormous.
What will they become?
Of course, we've seen people who have knelt before the president before, the likes of Anites, they are now ministers. We've seen the James Kakozas of this world, they became ministers. So all sorts of incentives are expected.
Okay, let's allow Honorable Kafuzi respond here.
Joel, the word parliament comes from the word pale, which is a Latin word, which means speak. And in speaking or in parliament, we have rules of procedure. There is what they call parliamentary decorum. We are guided on how to behave on the floor of parliament. But most importantly, what is emphasized is self-respect and respect for others and respect for other people's opinion. Now, I get concerned when my colleagues begin to trivialize and to trivialize my activities or my intentions and go ahead to allege that tomorrow I'll be different, because we've only just met in Parliament. I'm a lawyer by profession. And you see, on the date of swearing, you are given 2 books. Rules of procedure and the Constitution. Those books are not given to you so that you keep them in your suitcase. And then you start listening to whoever is saying what, and then you follow that. No. The intention is that read those books. Because you are a legislator, I want to assume that you are the cream de la cream of the people, because you are the person they have sent. Okay?
That's debatable.
No. I mean, that you are the person they have chosen for those 5 years. So you are expected to be above certain trivial behavioral standards. Read this Constitution so that when a matter comes, defend it or oppose it on a legal basis. I've had my brother Ambwa saying, you see, the Constitution says we all over Ugandan is enjoined to protect and defend the Constitution. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. The question is, what we are doing, is it within the law? Are we violating the Constitution? You see, this manner of talking is what is inciting the public. Because as a legislator, you're expected to know. When you start misguiding the people, they also get along. You
seem to say that anything that is legal must be done just because it's provided for within the law. So
no, listen.
It should.
Article 94 of the Constitution is very specific. A member of Parliament is permitted to bring a private member's bill. So when I hear a member of Parliament saying it has not been done before, so whoever is doing it must be having other intentions, but the law allows me to do it. What you do is stand on the floor of Parliament and say, what you are doing is not correct for such and such reasons. Don't incite the public. If you are giving arguments, let them be legal. Let them come from the mouth of a legislator. Let me finish. You spoke and I listened. You see, I'm one of the proponents of this amendment. I find it appalling that my colleagues have decided to mislead this country, and many more people have joined them behind. The Constitution itself allows to be amended. Article 259 of the Constitution says Parliament shall amend the Constitution in accordance with the procedures set forth therein.
So does that mean we should wake up anytime and always and amend the Constitution?
Listen to me. In law we say a Constitution is a living document. A Constitution must not be rigid. A Constitution must not be too flexible. It must be both. It must allow to change.
You also know that in law, we say that the Constitution is sui generis.
You know what that means?
Let's give me 1 minute. No, I'm going to get back to you.
The debate is coming in. The debate is bringing. We are not here to
debate what happened in Parliament yesterday.
No. You brought up the idea.
We are not here to debate whether it is okay to amend the Constitution or not.
You see where you go wrong.
I'm coming back to you. And as you come back to speak, Honorable Sam, I'm going to get back to you. Just relax for a second. I'll come back. Don't worry.
You see, there are procedures such that we should
let me come this way.
That's why we are willing to climb and
you seem to say that when they say the things they say to the people out there, because you see what I hear from when they go out there and they tell people Kafuzi is doing this, feminist position and so on.
Yeah.
I think they have a right to question your motives. What you might be doing is legal without a doubt, but you see, they have a legal right or otherwise to say,
why should anyone doubt my motives when I've been straightforward?
Let me tell you why.
Why should they believe you?
Let him tell you.
No, they actually under compulsion to respect my opinion.
But they can question your motives.
To make anything out of it.
Let me tell you the reason why we doubt your motive.
Even me.
You are a lawyer.
Yes.
Normally in law, one case, a conclusion of one case, the lawyers normally refer to a precedent. That when this happened, this was the conclusion. And this was the ruling of... let me finish. And this was the ruling of a judge, of a magistrate, or in any way.
It is binding.
So it's always binding in law.
It's binding to lower court.
Exactly. We had a ruling by the Speaker we had a ruling over a member who had brought a private
Kafero
member's
Sechitoleko.
bill.
But that ruling,
Kafero-
did it become law?
No. Kafero Sechitoleko. Any member of parliament who really respects the speaker and doesn't want to put the speaker under
In a
any
tight corner.
tight corner should begin by one coming up with a motion and saying, Madam Speaker, on such and such a date we agreed like this, and you ruled like this. We have intentions to change the constitution, but the government is delaying us. Now that would be the beginning debate.
Okay, let me answer
That
that.
would have given Kafuzi chance to come up with his famous
A quick question to you, Samba, as Kafuzi comes back. Are you saying, because you see that was the ruling of the speaker, and she ruled otherwise yesterday, so she can change her ruling? Just like
and Joel, let me answer that. No, let me answer. You see,
although you've not given
Article
me chance to complete.
94 of the Constitution allows a member of parliament to bring a private member's bill. Now,
Kafero Sechitoleko brought a private member's bill.
listen.
I think it was
The
a motion made.
speaker, the speaker overruled Kafero on that. If we were in court, we would have appealed, because the speaker took away a constitutional right. You understand?
But she gave reasons.
Listen to me. She took away constitutional right, and that is challengeable in court.
Why didn't you
not
challenge
in
her?
parliament? Listen, in court, not in parliament. Court can pronounce itself whether the speaker can take away my right. You understand? She's a presiding judge. But let's not go to that. She reserves the right to overrule herself. 2 months ago, when the Deputy Attorney General presented the proposed Land Amendment Act, which, the Land Amendment Bill, which is intended to amend the Constitution itself, the Speaker overruled herself and allowed those amendments.
And the reasons
Then
were?
we sent them away.
And the reasons were?
And you see, please let me finish.
Government proved that there is some matter of urgency.
Let me finish.
Tell me the urgency in age limit.
Please let me finish.
Tell me the urgency in
Permit
age
me to
limit.
finish.
Selfish
I
interests.
respect you when you make your presentation. Allow me to do the same. So, the Speaker overruled herself. And this matter came to Parliament, and we simply sent it away as members of Parliament. Okay? In this particular instance, Mageza and others are saying we have a right and we need to exercise it. The role of Parliament is either to grant leave or deny it. You understand? Under Article 94. The role of Parliament in this case is either to grant leave to Magezi or to deny it. The unfortunate bit is that my colleagues do not want to go into any legal arguments, they have decided to shut themselves, to shut up Parliament, so that nothing is debated, no leave is granted. Instead of giving us the merits of their thinking, either we agree with them, please let me finish.
No, you're talking
Either we
forever.
agree with them,
I'm not the moderator,
or
but
we
you're
disagree
talking
with them.
forever.
Okay, I need to ask Honorable Mbua something, because you are also you are mooting a motion, and
And he wants to
yours,
exercise his right under Article 94.
yours is that we remove all academic requirements for any position. Talk to us about that.
But before he answers,
No, it's
he
okay.
has
No,
admitted that he can bring all motions he considers stupid in order to bog down Parliament.
What do you call his motion?
No, that's what he said. Those are his words. That he can bring all motions, even if they are stupid, as long as they can bog down Parliament and prevent the Magezi motion from going
And he
through.
has the right to do that?
It is his right under
right.
Article 94.
So-
And the Parliament has a right to weigh them, either grant him leave or deny him.
All right, so let's allow him
As a
to come.
qualified lawyer, can you substantiate?
Yes, I can.
Put your evidence. Do you have any recording?
We were together yesterday. Listen to me.
Then
We were
you
together
say,
yesterday.
I'm
So
doubting your
it's his
credibility.
word
Then
against
you are
yours.
a fake lawyer. You
All
don't
right,
have
so
to-
here is the thing.
that evidence?
Since we are basing
No.
this on hearsay evidence,
No.
Don't insult.
Let me talk on
we shall
Magna.
throw out that
If
evidence
you
now.
want evidence, I'll bring it.
Okay.
So for now, that is not
if you want
available.
evidence,
Since
I'll
the
bring it.
evidence is not available now,
Joel.
we will not.
No, but even the speaker ruled that his motion
All
is
right. So
stupid.
let's hear from Honorable Mbua.
Let me just give him information. He's from NRM party. I'm from NRM party.
Actually, your proposal is more stupid
Yes.
than Mbwa's.
What previously, when
Yours is even worse.
when Ingrid Turinawe was contesting for Yala, the same group of NRM members including Kafuz and I, could not give her a chance to speak. We shouted. We made her not speak any word.
But you violated the
No, but you're saying
that
you
will not make it
you
right.
were a party.
No,
and
they
you were
can
NRM
replay
members.
those videos.
So when you
I cannot
come,
stoop to that level.
when you come and say, you see, these people, they hooligans,
I cannot stoop to that level. You violated the parliamentary decorum. These things are on video.
Talking. You like to keep quiet, to tell people to keep quiet when you're talking.
And I'm quiet.
Okay, so let's allow Honorable Mbwa.
NRM members, we were given instructions that now, since Ingrid told us, actually she said that MPs are pigs, said now, let's distract her, not even to speak. And we did it as NRM party members.
That was illegal.
Yes, but you kept quiet, we never condemned it. Now, because now we are doing it to you, that's when you're saying it's wrong, and you're saying these people, they are doing illegally, it's wrong, it's what? But how come the other time you never said anything, would have come here and condemned it?
So what you're saying is that what's good for the goose should be good for the gander.
Exactly. Then back to my bill.
Your motion.
My motion. My intended my motion.
You're talking about
discrimination. When Honorable Raphael Magezi, Kafuz and the rest of the Smells, when they were bringing their unpopular age limit amendment bill, they gave a justification that why they are bringing it is because people who are above 75 years are being discriminated and they are fit. So instead of talking about he's a senior lawyer, instead of knowing the difference between inclusion, exclusion, they said that what was discrimination. So I said, okay, fine. If this one actually is discrimination, how about our eligible voters, the illiterates, who went to school and they are not given a chance to contest as MPs, as presidents? When we have a president where our former president, Dr. Idi Amin Dada, was uneducated. Even in the cabinet, when we have evidence, if we ask the books of Honorable Haji Naduri, you cannot tell.
Why don't you go to court then?
No, of course. Why should I go to court?
No, because you see, when you say that, no, we can actually sue you.
No. We can. Our former minister without portfolio, Alhaji Ntege Sewagar, couldn't even speak the word portfolio.
Minister?
Yes. Yes, he was a minister without portfolio.
Was a minister without portfolio.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Did he swear in
But
as
he
minister?
resigned.
Did he swear in as minister?
If I remember correctly.
Yes.
No. You
He was
people.
in
But he was
office.
given.
Anyway, all right. So
Now,
I want you to be
there's so much
realistic.
evidence about that.
Joel.
Okay, let's stick to the substance.
Now,
Forget the form.
that was the reason.
Did the parliament pass him as a minister?
That was
We can check the archives and be sure. So since there's no certainty, let's carry
that
on.
was the reasons why I brought my motion. Because even up to now as we talk, we have people in parliament who represent workers. Who are those that are representing the jobless people? Are we not discriminating if we are saying that we have someone who is representing workers? We have people who are representing UPDF. Who are those representing police and prisons police? So I wanted to give a justification that actually what they are bringing, they are hiding under discrimination. Who are those elders that are complaining in Uganda that they were left out, they were locked out? Apart from the Kafuzis, is Kafuz an elder? Is the Honorable Magezi an elder? Who is bringing it? Who is complaining that he needs to be brought on board?
Okay, so if I get you right, you're
Yes.
saying you decided to mock them a bit. If
I
you're
was
saying
mocking.
this is
Yes.
discrimination,
Yes.
let's remove.
you agree.
Hold
Yes.
on.
So you agree?
Well, not with what you said. Me, I'm talking about the mocking.
Okay.
That if you're saying you're doing this to remove discrimination,
Yes.
let's remove all manner of discrimination.
All manner of
That-
Exactly.
the Constitution says the age of consent is 18. Let's remove that too,
Even
so that
too, yes.
9-year-olds can have children.
You
and
even
that
say
kind of
Public
thing.
servants work
You see,
up to
they
60.
even tried to bring
Remove
that
all
even
that.
people who are below 18, above 18, they can even contest. They wanted just to entice us, just bringing sugar coating to show that something is good and we are discriminating these people. And that's why I brought this. So, Honorable Kafuz, you tell Ugandans that actually you guys who are behind the Rafael Magezi's motion, those are yourself. You have your self-interests.
Okay. Let's discuss that for a second. I'm pausing us for a second. We are going to get back. What you're saying there is those are live pictures coming from Parliament. Of course, police is busy there doing the frisking of every car and everybody that gets into Parliament. But I want to show you what happened earlier on when the Prime Minister, together with some members of Parliament, were meeting with the Speaker of Parliament, after which the Prime Minister spoke to the media a little bit about what transpired in that meeting. Let's take a look at those pictures.
Whatever the opposition is doing in Parliament is not sustainable. It's very clear that there was contempt of Parliament. It's very clear that the Speaker was defied.
Do you make out of what transpired?
There was no need to make a statement. The Speaker was in charge of the meeting, and there was no need for the Prime Minister to make a statement. Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was a meeting earlier on between the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Parliament, and some other leaders, ministers and members of Parliament. We are yet to know what transpired at that meeting. I'm still here with my loaded panel. The Honorable Mbwateka Mwagafa, Kasambia MP, Honorable Jackson Kafuzi, he's the Chaka South MP, and the Honorable Patrick Nsamba, the Kasanda North Member of Parliament. Just on a light note, I know you explained this sometime, but some people did not get it, and so they've been asking, but this Simbua name, where did it come from? In a minute.
The what? The name?
Yes, sure.
The name, I think I was in Senior 4, and they arrested, the headmaster, I think, fell in love with one of the students. So we staged a strike. So they arrested the headmaster.
No, they arrested you've not begun these strike things now.
So what we did, I went, as I was, by then I was even 17. I just went and reached police, and you know our police is corrupt since even in 1980s. So when I reached there, they tried to ask me for a bribe. In Banyankore, if you're asking for a bribe, you would say that I wish you can give me milk for my children. So, and for me here, I say that if you know that you've been milking cows, today you're going to milk a dog, because you can hardly milk any dog. And from there, they could not even milk me. They did get a single coin, but I managed even to get a bond, a police bond for those guys. So from there, I was baptized in Mbwatekama. I'm not easy.
And the
even I fear myself. Yes.
Yeah. You fear, and what your original name was?
Gaffer.
No, the previous one, before you took that one.
Yes, I'm Gaffer Mbwatekamwa Louis.
Okay, there you are. At least that's clarified. So people might think we are abusing this man. No, he is Honorable Mbwa.
Yes.
And that's his name that he's very proud of. So regarding what transpired yesterday, we understand that there was a meeting of commissioners today, and some of you might be suspended. What information do you have, Honorable Nsamba?
They have been, the Kafuz has been working under the Chiekera way when handling these matters. When they were bringing the motion, they never wanted them to be on the order paper. So even the suspension, the looming suspension, which we are, by the way, very much ready for the sake of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, most likely they will pronounce it if it is to come. But I have information that Honorable Simeon Subuga and the others in their team, they are working very hard that some members are suspended.
I thought the procedure is they will say, we're going to look at the video recordings, the footage, and see which people are there that could be implicated. Then they will face the disciplinary committee, etc., etc. Then they will be given a hearing for the rules of natural justice to take course, and then eventually suspension will happen.
That's if our rules are followed. But since yesterday, we began seeing instances where the rules, Parliament is under siege. Yesterday we had about more than 50 SFCs within Parliament. They are not members of Parliament, but they are around Parliament. So we do not know whether they even forced our Speaker to put those motions. But I want to think so, because Kafuzi beckoned me as you were saying on the order paper is not there. Kafuzi beckoned to me that this thing is coming, so he was aware. So they just had hope. The man told me that if it doesn't come, I'm giving 1 million shillings. And so he was aware. He was aware that the thing is coming. So maybe Kafuzi better tell us now, tell our voters that in Nsamba and in Mbwatekamwa this afternoon they are going to be suspended because of what we stood. Because why we stood up, by the way, Joel, this shouldn't be missed. Why we stood up strongly yesterday, we expected the motion that came in on Monday 18th. Because the Deputy Speaker, yes, my motion, Deputy Speaker on Thursday announced that the notice I got on Tuesday of a motion, up to now I've not got a motion of it. The Deputy Speaker said. So it's most likely they submitted it on Friday. So how can you prefer that motion? That's after a week, and you leave out a motion, by the way, not in a normal motion, a motion that would have saved this country. Because every Ugandan want to contribute towards constitutional amendment. Kafuz, yes, yours is the unpopular one on age limit. You have your right. But we are saying,
you also have a right.
Yes, as we were saying, as Kafuz brings in his age limit and the Majezi,
you also bring
kindly allow other members also at the same time to contribute towards that. Otherwise, we are going to spend these 5 years when we've not legislated anything significant or anything good for the people of Uganda, because we are going to end all our time one motion after the other, one motion after the other. Then we will do nothing for the people of Uganda the entire 5 years, if that is the approach you want to take. By the way, I asked him, he can tell Ugandans what is the urgency about age limit. Something we even think, by the way, the 11th Parliament will handle better. The 11th Parliament can handle better when Mr. Museveni, the President, is not there. It will be a fair discussion.
Okay, your response,
I'll respond. One, the first area was on suspension. Suspension, or whether there is suspension or not, that one is not within my ambits. I'm a member of Parliament. These are my colleagues. I cannot jubilate that they are suspended. I cannot know that they are going to be suspended. That is within the role of the Speaker. But like I told you in the beginning, when we swear, we are given two books, the Constitution and the Rule Book. My understanding of the rules of procedure are that a member of parliament is suspended during a sitting. My understanding of that rule. You cannot suspend me for the actions of yesterday. You suspend me for the actions I've
How about
done
if
within
criminality
the
happened,
sitting.
and for you to prove criminality, investigations must be carried out?
Now, we are talking
And then the action can happen later
parliamentary
on.
decorum, one over which the speaker presides. You understand? If there are criminal
That's why the
aspects,
speaker writing this looked like she was jotting down names of noisemakers or something.
if the speaker, within her wisdom, says this has gone beyond decorum, it is now criminal, I'm sure she would take it up with the clerk and then they would know what to do. But that is not my role. Now the second question was on the urgency. You see, people have been asking, why have we brought these motions now? And my colleagues have only limited themselves to age limit. This thing is not about age limit alone. It is big and wide. Allow me explain.
Shame on you.
Allow me explain.
You remove age limit, we allow you discuss others.
Listen to me. These two colleagues of mine have brought motions of their own. And it is within their right to do so. And when those motions come to the floor of Parliament, I will be among those who will debate them. I will find the merits either to support or not support them. You understand? Now, the question is why now? In 2001, following the presidential elections, Dr. Kizza Besigye went to court. In Supreme Court number 1, presidential petition number 1 of 2001, the Supreme Court ordered the government to realign
Remove age limit.
to realign all laws relating to election. They made
There were 10 recommendations.
they made the recommendation.
Which of those was
In
alluding to the
2001,
age
let
limit
me
provision?
finish.
Yes.
Let me finish. That was 2001. They made the recommendations. Government did not work on those recommendations. Ordinarily, the government would be held in contempt, but it is government. Now, in 2006, Besigye went to court, and the Supreme Court made similar recommendations. And the government did not do what? Did not work on them. Now, in 2016, Amama Mbabazi went to court. And this time, the Supreme Court put a time limit. They made recommendations and said these recommendations should be put in place, should be worked upon within 2 years from the date they are issued. And they all relate, they are saying all laws relating to elections, all matters relating to electioneering.
So which of those
should be handled.
which of those recommendations
Listen to
allude to
me.
the age limit provision?
Listen to me. Listen to me.
We are listening.
Now,
You tell us.
it does not necessarily mean we limit our amendments to those issued by the Constitution. You understand? But we have to work on those,
where
those
is the
issued by the
urgency?
Supreme Court. But as we work upon those issued by the Supreme Court, we can include those others. You understand?
I can afford
I'll
it.
give you an
I think
example.
you can see the
I'll give you an
selfish
example.
included.
Let's allow him finish. Let's allow him.
I listened to you.
This is
No,
small.
No, it's okay. Let's allow him finish. He has the floor.
I listened to you.
But it's
The
okay
Supreme
for
Court
everyone.
said, Article 104, under Article 104, a petitioner has 10 days within which to collect evidence from the 37,000 polling stations and then file in court within 10 days. And then the court is supposed to listen to that evidence, look at it, examine it, hear the matter, and give judgment within 30 days. The Supreme Court is saying this time is short. We need more time. The recommendation is that we give the petitioner 30 days within which to collect evidence, 20 to 30 days, and the Supreme Court at least 60 days instead of 30 days. You understand? That one relates to elections. The same article provides that once an election is nullified, once there is to be a rerun or by-election, it should be held within 20 days. According to the Supreme Court of Kenya and their constitution, a rerun is to be held in 60 days. But ours says 20 days. Our economy is smaller.
Hey.
You understand? We do not have much money.
I thought it had.
So it is, and you are saying it would be incumbent upon government to organize an election within 20 days. So the Supreme Court said it should be amended and put on either 60 or 90 days.
Joel.
You understand?
Joel.
Now, as we
wind up,
as we look at those recommendations, then we come to the issue of discrimination. Our democratic principles in the Constitution are very clear. They are saying they should be all-inclusive and every Ugandan should be allowed to participate in a democracy, in elections. And I think that should have been the cornerstone of Mbwa's proposed motion. And yet Article 183 of our Constitution says unless you are 35 years and above, you cannot run for LOC 5 chairperson. LOC 5 chairperson. And yet, if you are 18 years, you can be a member of parliament. So when you compare the two, you find that they are in contravention of Article 21 of the Constitution. Discrimination. And the same goes for Article 102B. And you see, let me tell you this. My colleagues are here. Let them point to any constitution in this world. Please let me finish.
We are tired of
you can be tired.
Your preachings.
You can be tired. Let them point to any constitution. Let them point to any constitution in this world which has an upper limit apart from Uganda.
Now, let me respond to him. Joel, our constitution does not allow civil servants to participate in elections. Those are the majority.
That is one of the recommendations.
Those are the majority.
By the Supreme Court, yes.
Those are the majority. Civil servants. Our constitution has excluded, tells people beyond 60 to retire.
Public servants.
Public servants to retire. Now, if
that was the Kafero motion.
Now, if this man is seated here, which you Ugandans are watching, was surely about removing discriminations within our constitutions, he wouldn't have brought only one article, 102B. And I want to put it to him.
That means you've not read the motion. It doesn't have only one article.
I listen to you.
It's not only one article.
Two, if you picked out in their motion and you picked out only that particular article, 102B, and threw it away, it will die a natural death. He will not pursue that motion. He will not pursue that bill again. I told you his interest, their interest, him and the Majers and the Smeos and everybody, their interest is on Article 102B. We are not stupid. We are people who know what you're planning. If your interest was to work on constitutionalism, you wouldn't have refused. You would have embraced a Constitution Review Commission. You have not stated in all your submissions that a Constitution Review Commission is not good for this country.
Because we came up. Please respond. Let's hear from Honorable Mbwa. Let's hear from Honorable Mbwa. I'll come back to you. You've made that point about what you know, their schemes and so on. Honorable Mbwa.
Thank you so much. At first, the question was, it was all about the suspension, if at all we are suspended. Joel and the viewers, for us, we are ready, whatever comes on board, and we are ready for it. And they don't need to investigate, because the pictures are very clear. And even if we are supposed to be suspended yesterday, and the speaker maybe forgot, or he was just very merciful, even today when we go back, what we exhibited to sing, if they bring this unpopular bill again,
you're going to sing
we
again.
are going to sing again and singing a national anthem. I don't believe in violence, throwing chairs and whatnot, but we are going to sing because it is my constitutional right to sing as I'm defending my constitution.
Okay, so let's pause for a second and let me ask you.
Yes.
Because whether or not we like what these people are mooting as an idea, they have a right to present it, and then it can be defeated, right?
Yes.
So you're saying you are not allowing them even to present it?
Yes. Why we are not allowing them to present it? Honorable Samba Oshabe has told you. He was the first one to present his motion, of which the motion is a bus that can cooperate
their motion.
everything, all their motions, including my motions and whatever, we can take our ideas to the commission, Constitutional Review Commission.
Okay, so you seem to be saying if his motion is allowed and it's probably dealt away with, then you will allow that their motion be presented.
Because people have been promised incentives, people are working for incentives, people are even trying to engage the president to make sure that they are negotiating, give us this, we give you this. Why is it that they don't want to go this thing to go to the Constitutional Review Commission? They would have lost it out, because if it goes there, the incentives, there would be no way how they can get they would benefit. So Ugandans should get to know that these people, they have their self-ill motives. They are trying to gain for their own stomachs, but they are not bringing it in good faith.
Do you know why they are not ready to vote about my motion?
Answer now.
And it is a fact. No. It is a fact, Honorable Kafuz. You might say, because you're a lawyer, you want to say that, please, can you bring evidence? But we know you have even sat in some of the meetings. They've called us in some of the meetings, thinking that my heart, our hearts would change.
Including me?
Yes.
Have those meetings
included
me?
Yes, I've seen you. And you're there. So, Joel, let me finish like this. So, Joel, for us, we are saying, unless they allow Honorable Nsamba to present first, today, we are going to do the same. And the best way they can move their thing, let me just in fact give you an idea. Make sure the speaker can suspend all of us who are opposed to it. Then they would have gotten a soft landing. And Ugandans would know that the only greedy MPs accepted this. And they accepted this when the ones who are not greedy, the ones who are thinking about the country, were outside the parliament. So, Honorable Nsamba, you can give me the information.
Joel.
And then we'll get to
Yes, Joel. The reason why they don't want to come with my motion first is simple. They know it is a very, very popular motion, even within the NRM members. They know that. And they know very well that they can't vote against it. They can't come up with and they say no establishment of a Constitutional Review Commission, because tomorrow their plan is, let us first give Magezi, we deal with this one alone, then tomorrow we come up with a Constitutional Review Commission. If they voted against it today, certainly they would have put a barrier to government to come with it. Now, let him tell us why they don't want to go under Constitutional Review Commission.
Let me make sure we get the procedure right. I'm coming to you, Honorable Kafuzi. Yours is a motion
of
to be debated.
Yes, to be debated on the floor of Parliament and a decision taken.
Is it possible for the Speaker to disallow a motion of debate, according to your rules, which I believe you have read?
Of course, the powers, the powers lies with the Speaker.
Okay, so if the Speaker
but
says...
these people...
let's stick with the Speaker. First, forget about these people. If the Speaker says she is disallowing your motion for debate, will you respect the decision of the Speaker?
Now, the thing is, their strategy is don't allow...
No, we're talking about the Speaker. First, forget about them for a second.
Because
let's stick with the Speaker.
Because I know, once they siege Parliament, even the Speaker, it is possible that she's also threatened. We do not know what goes on. But I know it is them pushing it. Otherwise, the Speaker would have brought the Nsamba motion first, because it is in line with her ruling. On the
How about if it's allowed and then it's debated for, let's say, 30 minutes, and a vote is put for a vote? Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay. And it's put to a vote, and let's say it's voted out.
Yeah, let's do that. But I know they will not allow that. They are fearing it.
Okay. We need to wrap this up. So that we release you to go and... I'll do what you have to do.
I'll be happy.
The motions, sing the anthems, or whatever the case.
Joel, I'll be happy if they first deal with my motion and they vote it out. They go on record.
Okay. So
yes, you see, Joel, Nsamba's motion, as well as the Mbwate Kamwa or Magezi, they are all motions in Parliament. The Speaker read through all the motions that had been, all the notices she had received, and said she was allowing 3 motions. The one of Magezi, the one of Nsamba, and one of Riomoki. You see, yesterday we were supposed to deal with how many? 3 motions. So we were supposed to begin with one of Magezi. But these people refused it.
Why?
In the chronological way.
He tabled his
That's
first.
fine.
I mean,
Yes,
he-
that's
his
fine.
his notice was
I'm
first.
not the speaker. The speaker is the judge. She made her choice. You understand?
Unless she
I
accepts
cannot
we
answer
want.
questions for her.
But you
She
know,
made
the
her
back
choice,
door.
but you see,
Tell
please,
Uganda and the
please.
back door
Okay,
is.
let's allow him to respond.
She made her ruling. And all these three were to be debated yesterday, including his. You understand? So they did not defy me as Kafuzi. But they defied the speaker
And
because
we are
she's the
going
one
to
who
defy them all.
arranged it.
Now,
Those motions.
Tell us.
Secondly,
comprehensive
please,
constitutional
that's where I'm
amendment.
going. That's
By
where
the way,
I'm
you
going.
were in
private member.
That's where I'm
FDC.
going.
You're the ones who taught us how to defy.
So he
I'll come to
eventually,
that.
Yes.
I'll come
he
to
saw
that.
the light or he saw the bread. Anyway.
No,
Bread, but it couldn't come from
And it's
FDC.
been working for
Okay, let me tell you one thing.
The line is not bad.
Anybody who sees or who saw the way our colleagues behaved yesterday will not be comfortable associating with them. I'll stop
But
at
I've
that.
seen people
How about
applauding.
I will stop at that.
Yes, how about
I'll
the
stop at
public?
that. Now,
Kafuzi.
you asked about
That-
Constitutional
that-
Review
that-
Commission.
Kafuz,
Constitutional Review Commission
can we walk on
versus...
foot and across here?
Your question was Constitutional Review Commission.
Why don't you want your motion to go
To go
into
to a
a Constitutional Review
Review.
Commission?
Now, I will say this for the third time on this show, that when we saw, we were given a copy of the Constitution. Unfortunately, my colleagues have not read their copies. The articles we are dealing with, please, the articles we are dealing with within that motion, they are articles that can only be amended by Parliament under Article 262 of the Constitution. Article 260 of the Constitution sets out articles of the Constitution that can only be amended by referendum. That includes 205, the one on the presidential term of office, 5 years. If you say now we increase it to 7
Now,
years,
I want to put
let
it
me
to you.
finish.
He's
Let me
lying.
finish.
He's lying.
No, my copy of the
He is
Constitution is
lying.
here. Bring it.
There is no article.
Bring
There
a
is
copy of
no
the Constitution.
There
It
is
is
no
here.
article. There is no article in the Constitution that cannot be amended by Parliament.
So now they are saying it told you quarter four.
We are saying
we amend the Constitution in order
we are saying
to
a
go
simple
for
thing.
We are not agreeing with
Why
the
don't you want
methodology.
to go
The
to
methodology
a
is
Constitutional
wrong.
Review Commission?
Your methodology
Why
is wrong.
is Article 102 so special to you that you don't want to take it to a Constitutional Review Commission?
Anyway, after this
Explain
show,
that to
these
Uganda.
three gentlemen are going to Parliament. They seem to be rehearsing what they're going to be doing in Parliament. We are waiting to
Explain to
see. I need
Ugandans.
to release you, gentlemen.
All articles
You see,
in the
let me
Constitution,
tell you.
all articles in the Constitution are
The
can be
Madizis
amended
were
by
very
Parliament.
greedy for this country.
You see, in Parliament, the Speaker is lenient. For me here, I'm not very lenient. So I will only allow that order prevails. Gentlemen, I need to release you. Let me say thank you to you all for coming through. We totally appreciate it. Wish you good deliberations in Parliament today. The sitting begins at 2 p.m. Hopefully you will keep time. You people are poor timekeepers, especially in that house. You say 2, then you begin at 3. Anyway, we hope that you will start at 2. Let's watch and see how things go. Honorable Mbate Kama, Honorable Jackson Kafuzi, and Honorable Patrick Nsamba. Thank you to you three for talking to us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We wish you good deliberations. We are definitely going to take tabs on the happenings. For now, though, let's take a look at some live pictures.
Next
that are
time
coming
invite
from
me with the real people, not this one.
News Updates is brought to you by
Plascon, color your world.
Hashing it out. Speaker meets government top officials ahead of a tabling of a motion for a private member's bill on the presidential age limit. Also coming up, Uganda Communications Commission issues guidelines on live broadcasts, warns against promoting violence. And one person critically injured after a fuel truck rams into a tree along Ginger Road in Kampala.
The same paint you've known for over 55 years. The same products you've trusted to color your world. But now, with a new name, Plascon. Color your world.
Here is your order.
I think this is not exactly what we ordered. I ordered a Coca-Cola without sugar.
No problem. I can give you 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a great Coca-Cola taste. Here is the Coca-Cola 0 sugar that you ordered. You still look like you need a Coca-Cola. No! Why don't you look inside your bag?
Trust us with your cargo at the Rossalam port. We have held the longest record of stability, safety, and friendship since 1977. Visit us at TPA offices in Tomosi Business Park, opposite Nile Breweries, Luzira, Kampala.
I feel so fine. The feeling's so fine. On a brand new day. So good, so fresh, so fine. Reham Coffee Malt. On your finest day, nothing to worry about when your friends come around.
Enjoy the amazing non-alcoholic Reham Coffee Malt with a rich, dark, satisfying aroma. Just another goodness from Reham to you.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in conjunction with Youth Go Green, present
the first African Youth Conference on Climate Change and SDGs. The conference will take place from 28th to 30th of September 2017 at the Kampala Serena Hotel by invite only. Invitations to nominate youth who have excelled on climate change and climate change smart agriculture is ongoing under the Presidential Environmental Youth Awards scheduled for 30th September 2017. The conference will be crowned by an SDG run on 1st October 2017 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds under the theme Leaving No One Behind. The United Nations SDGs run will be flagged off by the President and the Uganda UN Resident Coordinator. To participate, institutions pay 1 million for 20 people, adults 20,000, students 5,000, and children for free. For details, call 0392-963-353. The proceeds will go towards the establishment of fruit gardens in schools.
Friday Night Live with Uganda's legendary Africo Band featuring VA and Geo Steady on Friday the 29th of September for only 50,000 shillings. Powered by NTV, Radio 1, Governor, whatever your mood, we've got the color. And Johnny Walker. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
Here is your order.
I think this is not exactly what we ordered. I ordered a Coca-Cola without sugar.
No problem. I can give you 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a great Coca-Cola taste. Here is the Coca-Cola 0 sugar that you ordered. You still look like you need a Coca-Cola. No! Why don't you look inside your bag?
One day, my daughter found an injured bird in our garden. But thanks to our care and protection, it started healing. Our skin also needed care and protection. I was recommended to wash with Protex Herbal, enriched with natural herbs. Its unique formula helps care and protect against 99.9% of germs, keeping our skin healthy. One day, the bird flew away, full of life. Protex Herbal, for the good health of your skin.
Don't miss the next episode of Coke Studio Africa. music meets.
I am Michael Chaku. I am an HR consultant. I'm a farmer and a proud father of two. My children's education is my priority, and that's why I signed up for Pro Edison. Now, I rest assured that should anything happen to me, Prudential will honor Jesse's dream of becoming an engineer and Gabby's dream of becoming an accountant. And I do hope that other parents across Uganda do the same.
With over 24 million customers worldwide and over 169 years of existence, your child's education is guaranteed with Prudential. Talk to us today and let's face life together. Tulinawe.
Do your gums hurt? Mm-hmm. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
Oh. All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, Colgate Herbal has a unique blend of herbs. It combines Colgate Flora technology and nature's best herbs to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums, naturally.
Colgate, #1 brand recommended by dentists.
Partnering with EFC ensures that you have access to the most convenient savings products on the market. We calculate loan repayments on reducing balance, allowing you to service your loan at a much lower cost. Make quick and easy loan repayments using mobile money. Ask us about our loans and enjoy the most competitive interest rates in Uganda today. Partner with EFC because we care about your business.
We're the champions of the world's most loved and watched football league. We're the pride of Old Trafford, the heart of Anfield, the voice that shakes the stand. We're the timing in the tackle, the curl in the kick. We're Wenger's calm, Conte's command. We're the fight that fuels the special one. We're the Premier League.
This season, stand a chance of winning one of the 1,000 DSTV Explorers by renewing your DSTV monthly subscription on Compact, Compact Plus, or Premium Bouquets, or buy the Zapper HD decoder for only 132,500 shillings. Where there's football, there's DSTV. Terms and conditions apply.
As the Uganda Cranes return in yet another must-win World Cup qualifier game against Ghana Black Stars on Saturday, 7th October at Nambole Stadium, starting at 4 p.m. Buy your tickets now at selected Airtel outlets for just 30,000 shillings ordinary, 70,000 VIP, and 150,000 shillings VVIP. Mujetulumbe with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
We're the champions of the world's most loved and watched football league. We're the pride of Old Trafford, the heart of Anfield, the voice that shakes the stand. We're the timing in the tackle, the curl in the kick. We're Wenger's calm, Conte's command. We're the fight that fuels the special one. We're the Premier League.
This season, stand a chance of winning one of the 1,000 DSTV Explorers by renewing your DSTV monthly subscription on Compact, Compact Plus, or Premium Bouquets, or buy the Zapper HD decoder for only 132,500 shillings. Where there's football, there's DSTV. Terms and conditions apply.
and myself, but it was a cordial meeting.
Have you been discussing what transpired yesterday?
This was a consultation with the Speaker, and I don't have to give the details of our consultations.
Okay, yesterday you remained silent. What do you make out of what transpired?
There was no need to make a statement. The Speaker was in charge of the meeting, and there was no need for the Prime Minister to make a statement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay? Okay, guys.
Maybe in Uganda.
I'm looking for an authentic representative who will represent me in Uganda. Okay, tufunye olukiiko olulungi ne speaker tuconsultinze ekitukola many times. Okay? Tubyogedeko ate n'ebintu ebirala ebindi. Sijja kugenda mu details. Speaker ajja kureleasinga order paper. Mumulinde.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister Ruhakana Rugunda, who is just from the meeting held here at Parliament between him and the Speaker, Rebecca Kadaga, and other officials from the NRM party. But we also understand that there has been another meeting that has been held in the office of the Leader of Opposition, Winnie Kiza, by several members of the opposition, who are also trying to strategize on how they are going to handle the afternoon. We've been told earlier on by the government chief whip, Ruth Nankabirwa, that on the order paper, the motion by Honorable Rafael Magezi will be on this afternoon for debate. But we also understand that security is not so tight here as we saw maybe yesterday and on Thursday, but we're also still closely monitoring how the situation will be transpiring. But what I can tell you for a fact is that many members of Parliament are already here in Parliament. The opposition guys are putting on their red ribbons, despite the fact that yesterday the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, ruled that this was against the parliamentary rules of procedure. But they've insisted, they're saying that come what may, they will put them on in the afternoon. We're waiting to see how this debate will go on, but we are closely monitoring. Back to you, Joel Senyon in the studios.
So that was earlier on at Parliament after the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, had met up with the Speaker of Parliament, together with some other ministers and members of Parliament, trying to, I guess, hammer out a position regarding what's going to happen today. Parliament was adjourned yesterday. It's going to reconvene today at 2 p.m. That's in about 50 minutes. We wait to see what transpires there. Of course, my colleagues are across the city trying to monitor events as they are playing out. My colleague Solomon Kawesa is at Najanankumbi, that's at the FDC headquarters. Solomon Kawesa, we understand as of yesterday, some folks told us that that place was sieged by police. What's happening there today?
All right, thank you very much, Joel. The difference between today and yesterday here at the FDC headquarters is that today the gates are open, and I've been monitoring inside there, and all the employees are doing their job. Work is going on well. However, still the deployment is in the area, and I can also see a truck up there just in case there is anything that police considers to be illegal happening. It is ready to take away any suspect, but inside work is going on, and I've been moving around different places to try and monitor how security is. I can tell you there is still heavy deployment on even the roundabouts that are coming into Kampala. You can see there is the army and also police beefing them up. When I went to other party headquarters like DP, you can also still see that there is heavy deployment around those places. I've been to different politicians' homes like the Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago, who also made an attempt to come to town, but the police at his home blocked him, citing allegations like he was planning a demonstration in town. Also, there is another councillor in Kawempe, Muhammad Segilinya, has also been arrested by police. He was also trying to make a proceeding proceeding to Parliament, but he has been denied access. Right here, I can see some of the FDC members who I would like to speak to briefly. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, we can see today FDC is open, and I understand you're the chairman of FDC in Buvuma. What is going on?
I'm going to speak in Luganda.
It's okay.
Ebigenda mu maaso okutwalizamu bitweralikiriza abakulembeze b'ekibiina nti okubanga basobodde gavumenti okuweereza poliisi nejja nebanga okuva jjo eri wano ng'egezaako okulemesa emirimu gy'ekibiina okugenda mu maaso. Olutalo lunene luli mu Parliament, teruli ku party headquarter. Kitwewuunyisa lwaki bajja okubulookinga party headquarter erina okukola emirimu gyayo egigasa abantu abadala, kubanga yo ng'ekibiina kyalonda abaka ba Parliament basukuma Parliament, era etteeka ery'ettaka n'etteeka ly'emyaka liri mu Parliament. Kakati twandibadde tulowooza nti amaanyi gonna bandigatadde eri ne baleka abakozi baffe ne babeera nga bakola emirimu gyabwe mu ngeri ey'enjawulo, kubanga balina byebategeka ebinja. Tuli mu kalulu akapate pulezidenti, tuli mu kweteekateeka okulabika nti akalulu kaffe kabeera ka mirembe n'obwenkanya, ekibiina kibeera n'abakulembeze abagenda okusobola okulembera ekibiina kino mu myaka egijja. Amannya gange Matovu Stephen, nga nzeetwala FDC mu disitulikiti y'e Buvuma.
So is the chairman of FDC in Buvuma. All he's trying to say in brief, he doesn't see the reason why police should be here, yet everything at this moment is in Parliament, so they should be at Parliament and not here according to him. But still the deployment, according to police, they say it should be here for reasons of security and also suspected illegalities that could maybe happen around the party headquarters, maybe mobilization of protesters and such things. Joel, that is the situation so far in town. I'm still moving around and I'll be updating you on each and everything that I see around town that concerns security.
All right, Solomon Kawesa, thank you for that update. Solomon Kawesa at the FDC headquarters in Niger Nankumbi. We'll keep tabs on that. My other colleague, Maurice Ocho, is standing by at Parliament. Maurice Ocho, what's happening? The session is meant to begin at 2 p.m. It is 45 minutes to that time. Is there an indication that at 2 p.m. we shall be good to go? I don't know if Maurice Ocho can hear me, though.
We're coming to you live from the August House here this afternoon, where a number of people, of course, are all waiting to see exactly what will be happening here in Parliament. That is following yesterday's adjournment in Parliament at 2:30, where the Speaker of Parliament adjourned Parliament due to the scuffle that happened in the House. But aside from that, this morning we saw a little bit of a scuffle that was happening in the August House, and that is where the opposition MPs that were, of course, wearing the red ribbons and others wearing the red caps got into a fight with some of the police officers. We shall be talking to them shortly after that. But most of the MPs that we talked to, many of them are waiting, of course, to see what could be happening this afternoon. That is, if the Speaker pronounces herself on the issue. But with the information that we have already got is that the issue is already on the order paper. That is the motion in regard with the bill, the age limit bill. It's already on in the order paper. Now, aside from that, we happen to get one of the opposition members of Parliament, that is Honorable Latif Sebagala, who could tell us, first of all, how they are well prepared this afternoon.
Good afternoon, viewers. We are more than prepared as members of Parliament to do our legislative laws. Unfortunately, this morning, in the basement down there, the police, which is supposed to protect all Ugandans and those who are supposed to protect all members of Parliament here, have beaten up around seven members of Parliament in the basement down there. And others have even wounds. But we are ready. We know that this struggle, there will be a lot of intimidations.
Honorable, there could be something that prompted them. How did this all happen?
No. I believe because the information I'm getting, that they were taking out their caps. These caps I'm putting on from their vehicles. So I don't see how someone, a member of Parliament, who is entitled to dress in a way that befits the decorum of Parliament, because putting on a red cap, putting on this cap, does not in any way interfere in the way how our rules of procedures are. But beating members of parliament, rounding them up in the precincts of parliament shows where the country has gone. But I want to assure all Ugandans that we are ready. We know that we are prepared. They are going to arrest us. They are going to kill us. They are going to do all intimidations. If they can do it to us as members of parliament, as to Lord Mayor as he was handled, then how about our voters? So we are ready to succumb. We are ready to stomach each and every kind of intimidation. We are not ready to succumb to any pressure.
We are well informed that you were involved in a meeting as the leader of opposition, together with the leader of opposition in Parliament. What was the meeting all about? Is it in regard with the, as you prepare for what is going to happen this afternoon?
No, I think these meetings are normal because as members of Parliament, members of the opposition, we have to meet at every other time to analyze the situation and see the way forward. We are sent by our voters to represent them here in Parliament. So what we are doing as members of Parliament, that whenever we are consulting, we consult every day, every other hour to analyze the situation and also to come out with a way forward. We are more than determined to protect Article 102B at all costs, even if it means some of us losing our lives, some of us being killed, some of us being arrested, some of us being brutally beaten. We are set for that.
Thank you very much, Honorable Latif Sebagala. That has been Honorable Latif Sebagala, who has been giving us information of exactly what has been happening, where some of them, they say, were battered by the police. But aside from that, we'll also be telling you some of what transpired probably in the meeting between the Speaker of Parliament, the Prime Minister, and also a couple of other NRM people. Now, just next to me here is Honorable Zake, who has already a plaster on his face, and he could tell us, Honorable, what exactly happened this morning. We see you with plaster on your face.
Yeah, this very morning, as I've been with my colleagues down in the basement 1 of this house, police people have come escorting us in the leadership of Annabelle, who is a commander here, and she has just attacked us. Actually, it has disappointed us. In the scuffle, they injured me, and I'm having an injury near my eye.
How many were you, Honorable?
We were around 6, and they were like 12. Actually, it was kind of like a mob. They didn't even say anything. They just attacked us, and they were confiscating our capes. In the process, I was injured. So this is so bad. If police can behave this way, the police which is supposed to keep us safe here, but they are now attacking us, they are beating us. This is very bad. If they cannot explain what they have done to me, I must address this in this August House before any business takes place. They must explain why this was done. And if at all they cannot explain, they will be disqualified here, because we have a right to either keep them here or not. Because if they can no longer safeguard us and they are just attacking us, meaning that they are useless. They are not of any usefulness. They are not.
Okay. That has been Honorable Zake, but we shall also be getting more information from the police, probably to get the other side of the police, what could have happened exactly. But aside from that, there is also Honorable Mbaraka Munyagwa, who could probably tell us why you also involved in the fight. Honorable.
Yes, I was involved. We went with honorable members to speak our heart.
All right, that's the Honorable Mubarak Munyagwa and a couple of other members of Parliament talking about an incident that happened this morning. We wait to see what police will have to say about that. But at 2 p.m., these members of Parliament are meant to be in session. Parliament is meant to be in session. We wait to see what happens. I spoke to some of them earlier on who said, look, for as long as the Honorable Nsamba's motion is not coming before the Raphael Magezi motion, Honorable Nsamba's motion is to do with the Constitution Review Commission, and he was saying, look, I put in a notice earlier on 18th before the Honorable Raphael Magezi, and so he feels it should have precedent. They say if that does not happen, they will not allow that Parliament sits. Let's wait and see. Let's now take a look at pictures earlier on of the Prime Minister meeting up with the Speaker of Parliament together with some MPs and some ministers. Take a look.
now do what? I could have told them I wanted to.
Whatever the opposition is doing in Parliament is not sustainable. It's very clear that there was contempt of Parliament. It's very clear that the Speaker was defied.
All right, that's the Chief Whip, the Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa. That's the government Chief Whip. Now, yesterday, the UCC wrote a letter, and they are raising a couple of concerns regarding how media houses are covering some of the live events that are happening. Let's show you this letter. They're raising concerns about what they see as incitement of the public by media houses as they run live events as they happen, arrests of people, what happened in Parliament yesterday. There is the letter. If I can read to you this letter, this was actually yesterday, 26 September 2017, coming from UCC to all broadcasters. It's titled Guidelines on Live Broadcasts. Reference is made to the above subject. The Commission has noted with concern that both radio and television broadcasting operators are relaying live broadcasts which are inciting the public, discriminating, stirring up hatred, promoting a culture of violence amongst the viewers, and are likely to create public insecurity or violence. The Commission reminds broadcasters that such live broadcasts are in breach of the minimum broadcasting standards as laid down in Section 31 of the Uganda Communications Act 2013, and best practice guidelines for electronic media coverage, reporting and broadcasting of live events. The Commission hereby directs all broadcasters to immediately stop and refrain from broadcasting live feeds which are in breach of the minimum broadcasting standards and the best practice guidelines for electronic media coverage and reporting and broadcasting of live events. They go ahead to say the Commission shall not hesitate to carry out enforcement for non-compliance with these guidelines, and any further breach will result in suspension and revocation of your license in accordance with Section 41 of the Uganda Communications Act 2013. Signed by Godfrey Mutabazi, the Executive Director of UCC, Uganda Communications Commission. We are hoping that we can speak to either himself or somebody from the Uganda Communications Commission to clarify on a couple of these things. I am looking at Schedule 4, which provides for Section 31, which is talking about the broadcast standards, the minimum broadcasting standards. Let me read them to you. A broadcaster or video operator shall ensure that A, any program which is broadcast, then it goes to the Roman numerals. Roman numeral 1 is not contrary to public morality. 2, does not promote the culture of violence or ethnic or prejudice among the public, especially the children and the youth. 3, in the case of a news broadcast, it should be free from distortion of facts. 4, it's not likely to create public insecurity or violence. 5, is in compliance with the existing law. Then B, programs that are broadcast are balanced, should be balanced to ensure harmony in such programs. C, adult-oriented programs should be appropriately scheduled. And D, where a program that is broadcast in respect to a contender for a public office, that each contender is given equal opportunity on such a program. So these are the red flags that the UCC is raising. Hopefully we shall get to speak to one of them to clarify. When they say, you know, some of this is not, it's contrary to public morality, well, what do they mean? If we are covering a live event and so on. Anyway, let me not ignite the debate now. I'll put the questions to them to help us understand where are we inciting, you know, public immorality, if you like, and any of these different things. We will speak to UCC hopefully in a bit and hear from them. Let's cross over to Parliament. I can see the Honourable Abiriga is speaking to my colleague. Take a listen.
In favour. 75% are in favour.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abiriga.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, that has been Honorable Abiriga, and I think you can see he still says that they are maintaining their status quo of yesterday, and that they shall look forward to see that at least the Speaker prevails on what happened yesterday, and for that they still believe that the Speaker has all the best that she can do to control the House. But right next to me is Honorable Okino Jara, who also hails from the Acholi sub-region and is still already glad with his red pep. Probably, Honorable, could you just tell us, after yesterday, Honorable, looking at yesterday what the opposition did, which you are part of them, Honorable, could you just take us through what is your next move today?
I think our next move is going to be determined when we are inside the House. Because much as we have intelligence information on how the other side is going to behave, we are also very conscious of the fact that we need to make sure we strategize to counter what they have been able to present. But the benchmark is, this motion, we are very determined, will not be read in the House of Parliament if we are still there. We also know that there is a move to throw all of us outside today from the plenary, but we also have a strategy to make sure we resist that kind of unlawful acts that will be emitted in the House of Parliament. So we are very determined than ever before.
But Honorable, let me just take you. You're saying unlawful acts, but some of you yesterday we saw, even when the Speaker tried to say settle down, we saw some of your own members climbing on the chairs, became rowdy. They didn't listen to the Speaker. That is what actually prompted the action of adjourning Parliament. Honorable, because you're the one saying the actions.
No, to stand and sing the national anthem of Uganda is not unlawful. And by the way, you are only prosecuted. It is only criminal when you do some act of violence. But if you just sing and then you talk, you are criminally not liable in the House, in the principle of Parliament. So that's what we rely on, and we believe that we are not going to be violent. We are going to behave ourselves, but make sure we send a point. And the point is that that motion is uncalled for. That motion is illegal. That motion, the procedure in which they are trying to bring in the House of Parliament, is not absolutely called for. And that's what we are fighting for. And we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for our people, and this is the mood when you go around in the entire country. This is the mood of everybody. People are saying, people are calling us, do not allow this motion to go and be read in the House of Parliament. And that's exactly what we are going to be able to do.
Thank you very much, Honorable Okino Jara. Now, that has been Honorable Okino Jara, one of the members from the Soli sub-region. But aside from that, like I told you earlier on in the morning, we saw a meeting taking place between the Speaker of Parliament and the Prime Minister. Then there was also Honorable Evelyn Anite in that meeting. We also saw the Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Rukutana, in the meeting. And basically, everything I could say is in regard with what transpired yesterday and paving a way forward for today, or probably make sure that there is harmony prevails in the whole meeting. But as I can see, the whole Parliament activity is going on. Security is already tight this side. We've just seen my cameraman maybe could just turn over the Inspector General of Police, Kale Kahura, has just passed over this side. He was also making sure that the whole situation is calm. So today we don't know exactly what could happen. And looking at that, because the security has also been really beefed up today, but we have not been seeing the members that have been outside. All is still calm for now. But as for that, everyone is already calm in this place. Now, I'll be getting back to the studio, and then we shall also be keeping tabs of whatever is happening here and more of it.
Thank you. That's my colleague Maurice Ocho that is standing by at Parliament, bringing us live events as they happen, waiting for the session to begin at 2 p.m. We'll continue with the live broadcast, but for now, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
We're the champions of the world's most loved and watched football league. We're the pride of Old Trafford, the heart of Anfield, the voice that shakes the stand. We're the timing in the tackle, the curl in the kick. We're Wenger's calm, Conte's command. We're the fight that fuels the special one. We're the Premier League.
This season, stand a chance of winning one of the 1,000 DSTV Explorers by renewing your DSTV monthly subscription on Compact, Compact Plus, or Premium Bouquets, or buy the Zap Zappa HD decoder for only 132,500 shillings. Where there's football, there's DSTV. Terms and conditions apply.
As the Uganda Cranes return in yet another must-win World Cup qualifier game against Ghana Black Stars on Saturday, 7th October at Nambole Stadium, starting at 4 p.m. Buy your tickets now at selected Airtel outlets for just 30,000 shillings ordinary, 70,000 VIP, and 150,000 shillings VVIP. Mujetulumbe with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
We're the champions of the world's most loved and watched football league. We're the pride of Old Trafford, the heart of Anfield, the voice that shakes the stand. We're the timing in the tackle, the curl in the kick. We're Wenger's calm, Conte's command. We're the fight that fuels the special one. We're the Premier League.
This season, stand a chance of winning one of the 1,000 DSTV Explorers by renewing your DSTV monthly subscription on Compact, Compact Plus, or Premium Bouquets, or buy the Zappa HD decoder for only 132,500 shillings. Where there's football, there's DSTV. Terms and conditions apply.
Advocacy for better health, together with Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Quality of Health Services and civil society organizations, are organizing the first national presidential dialogue on quality of health service delivery in Uganda at Colin Hotel Mukono on Friday, the 29th of September 2017. The dialogue will focus on discussing bottlenecks that hinder quality health service delivery and solicit for practical solutions to improving the health sector in Uganda. Do not miss the live broadcast of the dialogue on NTV this Friday at 10 a.m. Participation is by invitation only.
He's there.
You're the chief arrester. No one is going to protest. Move down. Yeah.
That's the Inspector General of Police, General Kaleki Zikaihura. He's at Parliament. We understand to try and make sure that all is safe. He seems to be leaving now, but he's deployed his people there. And everyone is waiting for 2 p.m. when the session of Parliament will take off. We wait to see what happens, but we continue to bring you updates as they do happen. We have a team at Parliament. We have teams across the city. My colleague Solomon Kawesa spoke to us earlier on from Najanankumbi at the FDC headquarters. We understand there's a bit of police presence there, a couple of other areas too. But a lot of attention is on Parliament today, given that the House was adjourned yesterday to today 2 p.m. As of this morning, the Speaker was holed up in a meeting with the Prime Minister, together with a couple of other ministers and some members of Parliament, trying to discuss what happened yesterday and trying to move a way forward. But we also understand that commissioners of Parliament had a meeting this morning, of course without the Speaker of Parliament, who chairs the Parliamentary Commission. And we hear, of course, there's no official communication from that meeting yet, but we hear that what was discussed were matters to do with discipline. Now, Parliamentary Commissioners are the ones that, if you like, run Parliament, in a sense that they are in charge of the welfare of members of Parliament. They also get to handle disciplinary matters sometimes, away from, of course, the disciplinary committee and so on. But many times they might place sanctions on an MP or that kind of thing. So we understand that meeting was about that, but we'll get official communication from them as and when we get it. We will relay it to you. But for now, we continue waiting and monitoring to see what happens at 2 p.m. Parliament is meant to kick off at that time, the session. But members that are opposed to the lifting of the presidential age limit from our constitution said that if the motion by the Honorable Patrick Nsamba, the Kasanda North MP, is not allowed to be tabled first, then they will give no room for the Honorable Raphael Majezi's motion, which is to do with the lifting of the presidential age limit, to be tabled in Parliament. They say they will keep singing like they did yesterday to make it impossible for anything to happen. Now, the Honorable Nsamba's motion is to do with a constitution review commission. He's saying let's have that in place so it can crisscross the country, get to hear from the citizens, from different stakeholders, from members of parliament, from religious leaders, and anybody else. And then it will put together whatever it is that they will find in a report, like it was the case before the 1995 constitution was promulgated. That's what General Bonsamba is mooting. And as of yesterday, of course, Honorable Majezi's motion was put before his, and they're saying, no, first listen to us, then we can listen to yours. Because they say Honorable Nsamba's motion notice was given first. That was on the 18th, before the Honorable Raphael Majezi's motion came through. So we wait to see whether there will be another standoff. Of course, yesterday there was quite a bit in Parliament, the throwing of chairs, the fist fighting, the singing, and so on and so forth. Some feel there might be a lot more of what happened yesterday today. Wait for 2 p.m. For now, though, let's just take a look at what's happening at Parliament. Members of Parliament continue to trickle into Parliament as they wait for the 2 p.m. Time to come so they can get in session. I see my colleagues seem to be speaking to Honorable Wilfred Niwagaba. He's the Ndora East Member of Parliament. Let's see if we can catch that. Hear me. I see you're with the Honorable Wilfred Niwagaba. He's also the Shadow Attorney General.
Whatever is happening, it's just a couple of minutes away, let me say maybe an hour to the real final hour of whatever will be happening. That is to do with the motion in regard with the age limit. Now, just next to me, I would prefer to say is the Shadow Attorney General. That's if I'm not wrong.
Yes, you are not wrong.
Yes. They had earlier on a meeting as the opposition, but of course, as you know, he's in quotes rebel MP. Honorable, it's just a few minutes away to the real time of whatever is going to be happening. What is the next move?
Well, the fact of the matter is we try to bring to the attention of the Speaker that the order papers presented does not resonate well with the will of the people. And we will request her to use her powers to alter the business on the order paper, because some of us believe the Honorable Nsamba's motion, which came in first, should be addressed. And once that motion is carried, it should be able to handle all the issues that are on the order paper. So we hope she will see sense and reason and agree with us. And if she does not, we are still resolved to ensure that Honorable Majezi's motion doesn't see the order of the day.
Honorable, maybe you could just enlighten us more, because the public would like to know if the Speaker has said that, no, I'm taking on Honorable Majezi's motion first, and yet at the beginning she said it was Honorable Nsamba that was the first to appear. What does that mean? Does it mean she's calculating herself, or it's a matter of some legality? Could you just explain to the public that dynamic?
Well, we have a lot of respect for our Speaker, and we can understand and appreciate the circumstances and situation within which she's operating. But we implore her to remain committed to the principles of good governance and rule of law. There is no reason whatsoever why Magezi's motion should come first, because it's coming first actually indirectly renders useless Honorable Nsamba's motion. We know the arm of the state, particularly the arm of the president, is clearly visible in this, but we will implore her to prevail, to look at her conscience, to look at the record she has made. She must remain our heroine as she has been, and this particular matter should not dent her name in the body politics of Uganda.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Like I said, we are just counting minutes away for the whole MPs, everyone to just come on to the floor of Parliament and then continue with what stopped yesterday. Now, next to me is one of the MPs also who is very vibrant. I would say very articulate when it comes to matters of age limit. But aside from that, she's one of the people also who has been pushing for this whole age limit debate to go on and for the motion, to be specific. Honorable, could you just tell us after yesterday what happened? What is the next move?
Thank you so much. After yesterday, we knew the House was adjourned, and the Speaker rightly informed us today we shall have a session. And we know that whatever had remained in the order paper and the businesses to follow, that's what we shall handle today. One of the items that remains were the motions brought by the three honorable colleagues, one of which is Honorable Majezi, about age limit, about reforms of the electoral processes, and attaching the court ruling of the Supreme Court. Those are one of the activities that we are going to be handling today.
Honorable, one of the things that many are questioning, especially from the opposition, is the fact that Honorable Nsamba's motion should have been the first, but the Speaker said it will be Honorable Majezi's motion, and that's why the opposition members of Parliament are saying no, it should be Honorable Nsamba's motion. Just take us through what?
No, that is the derailed tactics that the oppositions are using. It is the Speaker has a right even to defer what is on the order paper already, which one comes first. That is the supremacy of the Speaker when it comes to the House activities. She can tell us even there and then that people, let's defer this and bring this forth so that we discuss, then we handle this later on. So the order of who comes first is not the issue. The fact is whatever is tabled on the order paper should be handled. Now, what would be the difference if the other one came first? What was their motive? And we're saying, as for us, NRM, we also believe this is more or less government, because if the executive have endorsed this bill, then it has a little bit of supremacy.
But it's a private member's bill.
It's a private member's bill, but we also have in our rules of procedure of Parliament, we have rules that states all these structures in the Parliament: the opposition, the independents, the ruling party, and the chief whip is part of executive, and what the chief whip is behind. Ideally, this is government. So, but that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is the order of what comes in the paper, first of all, is determined by the Speaker according to the rule of procedure. Then two, how it comes, who comes first, which one comes first, it is not the issue. Now, why didn't they complain that we should have first brought the private members' motions and let other things, reports from committees and other things, be discussed later? But what we know is all they're doing is, they have even clearly told us that those are tactics. But what we are saying is, Parliament has to conduct its business as far as it is relayed in the Constitution and also in our rules of procedure. We shall do it appropriately.
Like you've said, these are tactics, Honorable. So if those tactics take the order of the day again, just like they have done it already for the past two sittings, this will be the third time. What will you do?
Their tactics is short-lived, because in the rules of procedure things are clear. We have in the provision of our rules, this kind of thing cannot go on and again, because Parliament has to be calm, we have to debate. These are not the only things that we have to debate. So many other things that pertain to Ugandans. So we shall not entertain. And I know Speaker cannot entertain. And our laws do not entertain this kind of, misbehavior, misconduct, and whatever I can call it. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
But that's basically short-lived.
Okay, then. Yeah. Thank you very much. That has been one of the honorable members that, of course, is in front of this whole motion and making sure that at least it goes on well. Of course, most of them from the NRM side are saying that this whole tactics, as they call it, is short-lived. But also, I don't know, but that will also still depend on some of the opposition members of Parliament. Yes, here we have Honorable Nabila Segai. She could tell us more. Some of the NRM members are saying that these are tactics that are employed by the opposition to make sure that this motion doesn't see the light of the day. Could you tell us, is this really the tactics that you're employing?
No, let me tell you, someone said that there are circumstances
that should act as a precondition for people to use alternative action. And everything is good because what we are doing is to represent our people effectively. I want viewers to note the word effectively. For us to come and talk to Ugandans, oh, we are unhappy about this. What action are you doing about it? What shows your disgust in this whole process? So I think today we need to separate the chaff from the real substance. And the litmus tests are not many. Is when significant amendments like this one that promote an item that we envisage as life presidency, that we go up in arms about it.
When we're looking at the situation as of yesterday was the question of which motion comes first. And of course, as rightly, three people stood on the floor and said it's Honorable Nsamba's motion that comes first. But the Speaker said, no, I'm bringing Honorable Majezi's motion. Just tell us, because some of the NRMPs that we've talked to say the Speaker has the right over to bring whatever motion that she wants first, but we've seen the opposition have still put up a spirited fight saying no, Honorable Nsamba's motion should come first. Just picking up from your mind, Honorable, what do you have to say about this?
Our problem is we elevate in this country, and it's a medieval mentality. We elevate people who occupy offices on behalf of others as demigods.
But the Speaker has the right, Honorable.
No, let me tell you, she's a member of Parliament who was selected from amongst us. The difference is that we gave her the authority because we all can't chair ourselves. But a chair has the same vote as a member. So in pursuit of what's right for our country, there's no one who will be partisan, and yet we say it is okay for them to do it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nabila Segai. That has been Honorable Nabila Segai, and she says that they'll still maintain with their spirited fight. But Jen, just next to me here is the Deputy Attorney General, Honorable Mwesiga Rukutana, and of course we know very well that they had a meeting today, early morning, with the Speaker of Parliament, the Prime Minister, and also he was among the people that were part of it. Honorable, just to take us through, how are you prepared for today after yesterday's event that transpired in Parliament?
Well, we are prepared to go ahead with the normal parliamentary sitting. There's nothing strange about today.
Honorable, just aside from that, you had, of course, a meeting. I'll get back to that point. You had a meeting today with the Prime Minister, the Speaker of Parliament. We saw all of you going forward. Honorable, could you just maybe hint to us what could have transpired in this meeting in regard with the motion that is going to be tabled over today in Parliament?
No, it was a routine consultative meeting between the executive and the legislative, and we discussed matters of mutual interest.
What are probably some of those matters?
No, those are privileged. Matters regarding the relationship between the executive and the legislature, the business of government, and that was that. That's just a routine, ordinary meeting which we normally hold.
Honorable, maybe before you leave, just to ask you again, yesterday, of course, we saw the Speaker saying, look, it will be the motion of Honorable Nsamba coming in second compared to, rather than Honorable Majezi's motion. But we've seen the opposition have still stood firm and said, we won't allow that to happen. What will you do if they still continue with that today, Honorable?
Well, the order paper preparation is the discretion of the Speaker. For us as government, we shall support the arrangement as the Speaker will put in place. If there is any reason why you should make arguments, we shall argue and the Speaker will rule.
Honorable, aside from that, aren't you worried that if this again continues for the third time and the Speaker adjourns the House, isn't that going to cause more of a stalemate?
Why should it continue? We expect to be calm. We expect that our colleagues will be civil this time so that the work of Parliament is not stifled. Because we are here to serve our people, we are here to serve the country, We are not here to dramatize. We are not here to create unfortunate scenes like yesterday's scene.
Thank you very much. That has been the Deputy Attorney General Mwesigwa Rukutana, who has been telling us about the meeting that they had today morning with the Speaker of Parliament, the Prime Minister, then a couple of other ministers. Now, aside from that, we've also learned from him right now, and he says that the meeting that transpired was one of the routines that have been having as government, executive consulting the legislative arm. So we still don't know if he's told us what exactly happened. All that will probably be knowing later on. But again, like I said, it's just a couple of minutes away to the real hour of what exactly could be transpiring. One of the other legislators also is here, and he's from the opposition, representing the Democratic Party. He's one of the people that stood very firm yesterday and said, no way, we're not going to allow this motion to take over. Honorable, yes. What is the next move for today?
We can't disclose the move for today because these people are prepared for us. We are just going for a meeting right now and see the ways how we are going to maneuver around.
Yesterday, the Speaker kept writing many of you your names from the opposition. A couple of you, she jotted down your names, and just say if today she comes up and says you or some of you are going to be suspended from the House, and like she said yesterday, I'll suspend some of you. What will you have to do, Honourable? I
don't know which rule is going to apply in order to suspend members. Otherwise, for us, we are ready. If they suspend us, then that will be okay. The community will know that the society will know that we have been suspended and we are not able to do the work which we are sent to do here. So we are ready for anything that comes across.
And on top of that, Honorable, what about some of your colleagues? I don't know if you've had information that some of your colleagues had a fight down with the police.
You know, they have impounded some of our materials that we are planning to use this afternoon. But,
is it right to use it?
Yeah, because we are just changing the dressing code. Just that. We are changing that so that everybody can recognize the side which is fighting for the rights of Ugandans.
But yesterday the Speaker told you people to unwrap of those ribbons, and of course you did. Then why again now, today come with them?
Ribbons were not very decent. We have devised means, and we have actually changed the dressing code by putting on something which is more decent than the ribbons which we are using. Because it looks like we are decorating ourselves. But now we are dressing smartly in our suits. The ladies are having their dresses and they are putting on some kind of a hat, and this one will distinguish between who is fighting for this and who is on the other side. So that's what we are trying to do. But they have impounded some of these materials, but we are trying to make sure that we can recover some of them. And some of our colleagues have already got theirs, and also moving out to get mine right now. That's where I'm heading to.
A couple of NRM legislators say these are some of the tactics that you're employing to make sure that this motion doesn't see the light of the day. Honourable, how true is this?
The most disappointing thing is that when they have produced the order paper today, the first thing on the order paper is actually that motion which we are fighting against. Instead of bringing in the motion as we suggested yesterday, that they should come in order of their priorities and how they were presented to the Speaker, they have decided to bring the other one first instead of the motion which was brought in by Honorable Nsamba from Kasanda. So this is a very big trick which they are trying, because if the other one comes first, they think that maybe the other one will be thrown out. That's what they are now trying to dodge around. But we are planning for the next move this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Now, that has been one of the legislators from the opposition side, and they say that they are still going to continue with their resilience towards this motion. Now, as you have heard clearly, he said that one of the first motions that is there on the order paper, actually it's the first item on the order paper, is Honourable Raphael Majezu's motion that many of the opposition legislators are saying it shouldn't have come first. Now, let's wait and see how that will play on the floor of Parliament, and it's exactly 2 o'clock, and I would like to say we are still here bringing to you all the actions that will be happening here, the debates and the proceedings of whatever will be transpiring. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you. That's my colleague Maurice Ochol that is at Parliament, on the outside of Parliament, as members of Parliament get set to go in. It's, according to my watch, 2 minutes to 2 p.m. We hope that Parliament will start on time. In a short while, we'll be showing you what's happening in the chambers, in the parliamentary chambers. Some MPs have made their way already. Some opposition MPs are still trying to get a hold of their gear. They got other gear that they are using for today. Some of it was impounded, at least according to some MPs that we spoke to. We understand there was a scuffle in the basement where the parking lot is. But anyway, we are keeping tabs on that, and we'll bring you events as they do unfold. I don't know if we have a picture from Parliament so we can show who is in Parliament and who isn't. We will show you that in a bit. For now, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back in a very short while.
Advocacy for better health, together with Uganda Parliamentary Forum on quality of health services and civil society organizations, are organizing the first national presidential dialogue on quality of health service delivery in Uganda at Colin Hotel Mukono on Friday, the 29th of September 2017. The dialogue will focus on discussing bottlenecks that hinder quality health service delivery and solicit for practical solutions to improving the health sector in Uganda. Do not miss the live broadcast of the dialogue on NTV this Friday at 10 a.m. Participation is by invitation only.
You can now become an exclusive MTV reporter on the go. With the NTV Go mobile app, you can create news by capturing and sharing content instantly. Simply download the NTV Go app on Google Play Store. Go to the N Reporter feature and start reporting as the news happens. We will air your story on a special TV program. NTV Go also allows you to watch news, instant live updates, and follow your favorite show from the comfort of your home, taxi, or your favorite kafunda. Download NTV Go app now from Play Store.
Madam, you're welcome. Excuse me. She pretends she wants to be like the boss, yet she's like one of us.
Do I look like I did not go to school?
That sounds like a threat.
A story.
Selected Airtel outlets for just 30,000 shillings ordinary, 70,000 VIP, and 150,000 shillings VVIP. Mujitulumbe with Airtel, the official sponsor of the Uganda Cranes football team.
Don't miss the next episode of Coke Studio Africa. Coke Studio Africa. This is where music meets.
Here is your order.
I think this is not exactly what we ordered. I ordered a Coca-Cola without sugar.
No problem. I can give you 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a great Coca-Cola taste. Here is the Coca-Cola 0 sugar that you ordered. There we go. You still look like you need a Coca-Cola. No! Why don't you look inside your bag?
You can now now become an exclusive MTV reporter on the go. With the NTV Go mobile app, you can create news by capturing and sharing content instantly. Simply download the NTV Go app on Google Play Store. Go to the N Reporter feature and start reporting as the news happens. We will air your story on a special TV program. NTV Go also allows you to watch news, instant live updates, and follow your favorite show from the comfort of your home, taxi, or your favorite kafunda. Download NTV Go app now from Play Store.
Okukubiriza programu eno tuwaye n'okugitegeka libeera bbanja lyennyini tosobola kuwumula okutuusa ng'olisasudde. Entebe eno eteekwa okugasa abantu buli wiiki.
Omurasita kyanoonya gwe kyolina
lwa butayagala kumanya.
Exactly. Nobeera era bannange gavumenti etuyambe.
Nyongera kubabuulira nabagamba emyaka ng'ebiri egiyise. Lwakiri waliwo be neetaaga okusabira mukama abanonne.
Ebeera interview omuntu gy'ateekeddwa okulaba. Yattaluumu wamulabako n'amaaso.
Moses.
Wali omumanyi?
Nali mumanyi bali bayita Moses Safi.
Nti lwaki nkola activism? Museveni agenda okujja naye nze nga njagala mu 7.
Ne bagamba nti gavana waali.
Okunoonyereza n'okutegeera obulungi akyadde ku programu kikulu. Kijjayo emiramu emikulu tuwaye kwesimbi. Buli kimu tukyetegekera. Tutambula okunoonya abali mbuufu obw'emiramu egyatuwaye. Abalabi baffe baliko emboozi gye baagala okuwulira.
Okuva e Kaddugala paka Kampala nagira ku motoka y'amatooke emabega.
Eyigiriza, esoomooza.
Naddukamu katono ne gukuba omukono.
Paul kinno ssebe ekugwira.
Zino HVZ nnene.
Ewuniikiriza.
Yalowooza nti bagenda musalako okugulu. Nyadduka.
Eteeka ku bunkenke.
Abaali mu ssabo yeefuula alagula aliko emmandu empitirivu ennyo. Nga mugajajja byontumye embireesi nti ebiriwo ajja ekikapu akimugundirawo mu maaso ogenda okkeberanga mutwe gwa mwana omukazi n'agwa nafeiti
omwagala oli otya
naye n'akuddamu
nzimanyi nnyo ebbaluwa
kasonsomolera ng'erigoledde feddo
otyo tuwaye ekyusizza ate ekyayongera okukyusa ebiseera bya Uganda kubanga ddoboozi lyogerwa ate liwulirwa.
Don't miss the next episode of Coke Studio Africa. Coke Studio Africa. This is where music meets.
This is a wonderful opportunity, and I know we're taking the money.
But we need to look for more creativity.
Whenever you have an idea, you need to patent it first. That's how you secure it. How are you going to fight the new market entrance?
Give it to me. Yeah. Take it.
Tell me that I am beautiful. You wait for me until I resurrect.
Then, Lorenza Malavido and Matias Rey have secretly married, despite the hate between their families.
Tonight on NTV.
Main chick, side chick, mistress. Which is which?
There has been a lot of talk about women who are willing to share. Are you one of those women?
Our girls in the universities, in the hostels. One vehicle has come and then another vehicle has come. Picking the same girl, in that social being, it is normal for them to move in and out.
Tonight on NTV.
Advocacy for better health, together with Uganda Parliamentary Forum on Quality of Health Services and civil society organizations, are organizing the first national presidential dialogue on quality of health service delivery in Uganda at Colin Hotel Mukono on Friday, the 29th of September 2017. The dialogue will focus on discussing bottlenecks that hinder quality health service delivery and solicit for practical solutions to improving the health sector in Uganda. Do not miss the live broadcast of the dialogue on NTV this Friday at 10 a.m. Participation is by invitation only.
Before overtaking, ask yourself, is it necessary? If so, check ahead, check behind to find out whether there is no oncoming vehicle. If all clear, overtake and immediately return to your lane. Remember, never overtake at a bridge, in a corner, at the brow of a hill, or where your visibility is poor. Trade Decor, every life matters.
This message was brought to you by Viva Energy and NTV Uganda.
You don't have to look any further. Get online and you'll get any property.
It's all about joinery. How best do you give a tree a very good second life?
Because there's already development happening around.
Say, for example, carpets. Pick luxurious carpet and you say, I've got to have a carpet wall-to-wall in my house. But we're a hot country.
Welcome to the Property Show, where we make real estate sense.
The Timeline is brought to you by
MTN, everywhere you go. Go TV, live it, love it.
A hashtag that actually took over the world and happily had a lot of Ugandans participating. This was an opportunity for black artists to expose their craft. I met a couple of artists from here just showing absolutely fantastic work that they are doing. And of course, that's what social media is about. It's about us sharing our hustle, you sharing your hustle. So please make sure that you use that following you have to share your craft. Are you an artist? Are you a dancer? Are you a painter? Are you an architect? Are you an engineer? Whatever it is that you do, as social media says, your clients might be on someone else's TM. Thank you so much for being part of the show. That's all the time we had for, and I have to go, unfortunately, but you can always catch us on the internet at the Timeline 256. Share your thoughts on the show. Share new things that you think should feature on the show. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's at the Timeline 256 and get these episodes straight to your inbox. And you can start a new life with MTN. All you have to do is buy a brand new SIM card and get 30 minutes free airtime, 100 SMSs, 100 MBs, and 1,000 shillings of mobile money. Also, you can kwacha kavu with GoTV, where you can win 100 million shillings in 90 days. You can be among 10 lucky winners that will walk away with 200,000 shillings every week. Now, winners also stand a chance to enter the cash machine, where you can win up to 5 million shillings cash. To enter the draw, simply buy a GoTV decoder or renew your GoTV subscription and send your IUC number to 6488. Then stand a chance to win in the weekly draws. Of course, don't forget, this promotion is valid for 90 days. Terms and conditions do apply. GoTV, live it, love it. From me, David here, goodbye, God bless, and catch you on the Wild Wide Web. Bye.
That time was brought to you by...
Get a SIM card for only 2,000 shillings at any MTN shop everywhere you go. Start a new life with a network that gives you the best internet everywhere.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Renew your subscription by paying 26,000 shillings for GoTV Plus or 16,000 shillings for GoTV Value. Send your IUC number to 6488. Automatically enter the draw and stand a chance to win in the weekly draws. Enjoy a variety of great entertainment. GoTV. Live it, love it.
In the Merchant of Success, welcome. Today's episode, I want us to talk about the idea of you thinking on paper. It may sound like cliche, but it's true that the shortest pencil is longer or stronger than the longest memory. You see, when you think on paper, when you use the pen and paper, a couple of things happen. Number one, you get more clarity. Number two, it actually activates your brain at a much bigger level, because now there's the mind over matter. There's the pen is moving, you're thinking, so it activates the whole brain. So it actually enhances your brain performance. And then number three, you're able to track that information in future, where you wrote this thing, where you wrote those ideas. So what does this mean? It means that, how do you do this? Number one, if you have a thought that you want to develop, get out a notebook, get a pen, and start writing. Number two, so how do you write? If you have some ideas that you want to build upon, so what you do is you get a notebook, put something in the center of the book, and pop out ideas all over the place. For example, it could be how to pass exams. Then, generate as many ideas as possible across this central idea of how to pass an exam in the center. So you put up ideas across. Or it could be how I can get 10 more customers this month. So same thing, how to get 10 more customers, and then you generate as many ideas as possible. And finally, make sure you follow up what you wrote. Revise often, because sometimes I get shocked when I'm revising through, when I'm checking through my journals. I'm like, oh, I had planned to do this, I didn't write it, I didn't follow through. So it's important to keep reviewing. You take action, but also review. Review your journals often so that you know where you're going and how far you've gone or what you need to do differently. When you think at that level, when you think from a piece of paper, then ideas get clearer and clearer and clearer. And before you know it, you'll be known as a very competent and powerful implementer. So your task for you today is get out your notebook, get out a pen. I'm sure you have them. If you don't have, borrow at least a pen, okay? If your friends fail to lend you some, give me a call and I'll give you a pen, and then we take it from there. It's Ethan Musoli, the Merchant of Success, saying go forth and write. Bye for now. Ethan Musoli, the Merchant of Success. Today I want to share with you the idea of telling great stories. So how do you tell a story? Before then, I want to tell you why should you consider a story. Number one, a story is very captivating. Number two, it is you and you only, especially when it's a personal story. Number three, people love stories. So why not tell a story? Okay. Now, what's the structure of a story? When you're telling a story, number one, state the place, venue, or event. When did it happen, the time, okay? Then number two, what was the dialogue between you and the people, if there are people involved? So and so said this, and then I did this, and then you can actually dramatize the voices. Number three, tell the inner dialogue you were having in your mind. So you could say, okay, when the traffic guy crossed in front of me, I started asking myself, oh my goodness, how could I make such a mistake? What am I going to do? What should I do now? I'm in trouble now. That's inner dialogue. So you demonstrate that to people when you're talking to them. And then next, what you should talk about is feeling. What did you feel? It could be, okay, my heart was pumping, I was sweating was pouring through my veins, and my feet were shaking. So all those are feelings. So if you state the feelings, then you're able to take people through that journey. And then next, you should share what are the lessons that you picked from that. You say, from then on, I learned that, you know what, it's not worth it to break traffic rules. So this is what the second thing I learned is to always leave home early, such that I don't get into cutting corners and getting into trouble, okay? And then next step is you state what lessons are you passing on to the listeners. So, okay, so my lesson to you, the lesson I would want you to take is this and this and this. In future, leave home early, do this, do that, do that. And finally, once they take home, what do you want them to do? Say, moving forward, this is what I want you to do based on my personal experience. This is what I'm challenging you to. Challenging you, for example, to always keep within the traffic rules even if you're late. After all, when you're caught, you'll go even much later. It takes even a longer time. See, so when you structure your story that way, then you'll be amazed at the level of impact. I've demonstrated this when I'm teaching people public speaking, and they are always amazed at the level of impact when they tell stories using the structure I've given you. So your task for today is to go forth, tell some story, following the structure I've given you, and you'll be amazed. Bye for now.
NTV, turning on your world.
Sights and sounds. 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 Sights and sounds.
About Town
is brought to you by
Castle Light. Unlock extra cold refreshment.
Artists always have riders before they arrive for performances. For those who might not know, a rider is a set of requirements that must be met by the organizers. There's a technical rider about stage and sound setup, and a hospitality rider about how the artist expects to be treated. You have had celebrities like Jennifer Lopez demanding an entire hotel to be painted white, or Akon asking for black American mech suits for his transportation. During his performance in Kampala recently, Nigerian star Tekno insisted on a steady supply of Ciroc vodka both at his hotel room and backstage. Not surprising, because we learned that Tekno was appointed as Ciroc ambassador earlier this year. He is one of the few African celebrities attached to the luxurious vodka that was made famous by PDD. Ciroc brand manager Roger Agamba was on hand to hand Tekno a Ciroc bottle on arrival at Serena and took care of the backstage hospitality with a luxurious lounge that had unlimited supply of the world's premium vodka. Though the concert was organized by Bell, the organizers had no problem with Tekno's demands because, well, Ciroc and Bell fall under the same Diageo family. The Mayanja family has intentions of keeping and celebrating the legacy of fallen dancehall star Emmanuel Mayanja, also known as AK-47. According to sources, the Mayanja family, that includes renowned musicians Jose Chameleon, Weasel and Palazzo, are planning to release some of AK-47's unfinished masterwork music projects at the 10 years of Radio and Weasel concert due in October at Lugogo Cricket Oval. Amongst the songs they expect to release will be AK-47's collaboration with Ghanaian star Stonebwoy, whom the sources revealed was one of his favorite stars in the industry.
This is Cindy Baby, the king herself. Fia, baby. One and only queen, is Swag Mama.
My name is Dagenas and we are representing About Town.
Juliana, and this is About Town. Don't go anywhere.
Let it go.
Because Castle Light is best served extra cold. The new extra cold indicator turns blue when it's at the perfect drinking temperature. Unlock extra cold refreshment.
The Timeline is brought to you by
MTN, everywhere you go.
Go TV, live it, love it.
A hashtag that actually took over the world and happily had a lot of Ugandans participating. This was an opportunity for black artists to expose their craft. And we had a couple of artists from here just showing absolutely fantastic work that they are doing. And of course, that's what social media is about. It's about us sharing our hustle, you sharing your hustle. So please make sure that you use that following you have to share your craft. Are you an artist? Are you a dancer? Are you a painter? Are you an architect? Are you an engineer? Whatever it is that you do, as the social media says, your clients might be on someone else's tier. Thank you so much for being part of the show. That's all the time we had for, and I have to go, unfortunately, but you can always catch us on the internet at the Timeline 256. Share your thoughts on the show. Share new things that you think should feature on the show. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's at the Timeline 256 and get these episodes straight to your inbox. And you can start a new life with MTN. All you have to do is buy a brand new SIM card and get 30 minutes free airtime, 100 SMSs, 100 MBs, and 1,000 shillings of mobile money. Also, you can kwata kavu with GoTV, where you can win 100 million shillings in 90 days. You can be among 10 lucky winners that will walk away with 200,000 shillings every week. Now, winners also stand a chance to enter the cash machine, where you can win up to 5 million shillings cash. To enter the draw, simply buy a GoTV decoder or renew your GoTV subscription and send your IUC number to 6488 and stand a chance to win in the weekly draws. Of course, don't forget, this promotion is valid for 90 days. Terms and conditions do apply. GoTV, live it, love it. From me, David, here, goodbye, God bless, and catch you on the Wild Wide Web.
That time was brought to you by Get a SIM card for only 2,000 shillings at any MTN shop everywhere you go. Start a new life with a network that gives you the best internet everywhere. MTN, everywhere you go. Renew your subscription by paying 26,000 shillings for GoTV Plus or 16,000 shillings for GoTV Value. Send your IUC number to 6488. Automatically enter the draw and stand a chance to win in the weekly draws. Enjoy a variety of great entertainment. GoTV. Live it, love it.
When you live in a place of possibility, when you're driving Africa's growth, you never stop moving forward.
Stanbic Bank. Moving forward.
On this beautiful Sunday night, we are coming to you live from our Nile Serena studios. This is Perspective with Josephine Karunji.
Yet another episode of Perspective with Josephine Karunji. Now, this last month we've been talking about the arts, and tonight we are talking about the future of our music industry in the era of digital. Let's start by introducing my guests for this evening, and I'll start to my very right, Daniel Kazibwe, Ragadi, as he's commonly known, and he says I should introduce him as somebody who does everything. Business, politics, music, all of it.
Yes.
But I'd want us to see a bit of what you do. If you could just have a clip of some of his songs playing so that we know a bit of Ragadi's journey.
This is a brand new style and a brand new fashion. Katikati fetuli kupate pate abantu bazina babiri oba basatu satu nabo bafati fati nabo bashoti shoti na atali na kabina lesega chati chati kwetu kubaraga rago lumbe lufuka nambaga eno yi dancehall sage ngome nyumira mupiga abakopara kitoni mbakabya mazika Ragadi konko na mchalo ne mchibuga Kamuda better than the girls that we know. You better than the girls that we know. You better than the girls that we know.
Definitely, yes.
You've come a very, very, very long way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our other guest for tonight is Pademan. Pademan, who is a music producer and an artist as well. Sure. Let's take a look at some of his work.
kusaba kisonyiwo nawo omanyi enemirimu mingi tuba mu kukazana nagezaako mama funa akasente nzije naye kambula.
Well, we're expecting our third guest, and I'm hoping she'll show up at any minute. But let's get into the discussion. Let's say it as it is.
Is brought to you by Sparkle Saloon. Professional, affordable, and quality services.
Question to both of you.
Yes.
How would you rate our music today? The quality of our music? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are we?
Well, music has different kind of ways of saying it. We could say audio, we could talk about video. The first thing is audio is getting better every day because the new digital, we're in the digital world where everything is coming in a different way. Uganda is getting somewhere. Video, you can see the competition videos on in MTV base. They're on channel, they're played on NTV every day. And you can see that people are doing right now. Long time ago, we used to do 720 and 320p, but now they're shooting 1080 to 4K. People are using red cameras, people are using their high-end cameras. So the quality is good.
If you were to give it a mark, 1 out of 10, 1 to 10.
Well, I would say we are getting some. We're getting to 6.
We're getting to 6.
Yes.
Okay, Fatima, what would you say?
When it comes to rating Uganda's music, I think the challenge here is in Africa, when we are rating everything, we rate it according to the Western world. Maybe I would give it 9 out of 10. In terms of quality, some music are just okay the way they are. You don't have to have it sound so good. For instance, if you bring a song which was produced in the 60s, you bring it back today, you want to modernize it, you kill its beauty. So the bad thing is that we want to always to rate our work compared to the Western world, which we will never get there because we are original.
So you think we are at a 9?
At a 9 as far as Africa is concerned. We're at a 9, yeah, or 10, I don't know.
I think one of the problems that we're seeing most people facing is the issue of piracy.
Yeah.
How are we dealing with it?
Well, piracy has failed in all ways. It has first failed on the part of the artist, and then failed on the part of the client, the listener, the person who likes the music, and then failed on the part of the administration. Like the government is not assisting the people to say that we're going to put a strict law. If we get you pirating music, you're going to pay a lot of money. People who pirate you, there's no way. I don't have a mandate to arrest a person who is selling my CDs in traffic. If I got him, it would be a different story. But if the government put a system
that looks after the people who are making this music, because the industry is so big that if every artist's work was sold, I think most Ugandan artists would be billionaires. But people consume the music. The people who like the music, they don't even pay for it. They're like, what is the new one you have?
Has somebody ever come to your car to sell you your own CD?
Yes, yes,
5,000, 10,000 shillings?
Many times. No, the worst thing they do is they bring one CD with like 200 songs. So they're like, Kanonkalina Kunani stop. And you're like, you read through the names, you see your video there. Then you're like, you have nothing to do to him, because he's saying, by the way, I'm not the one who records this. All I'm doing is to sell. Now, talking about the digital world today, is people have what they call the flashes.
Yes.
They have terrors. I mean, someone just comes and puts the flash in the computer. He gets more than 200 of your songs, and it asks you, do you have anything more? Because I have the rest. So you don't have nothing. You have nothing left. But if we followed what the other people are doing in the world, I think we could, it's just getting a bit of a twitch on the control. Because there's no control in Uganda. I don't see no control, because Chinese have come here with those burning machines, CD burning machines. They burn. The movies, you can see movies in the theater, it is coming out like yesterday before you watch it. And no one is looking, because other people are looking at, we're doing business. And the artists, I'll tell you, artists in Uganda, I've spent 3 years doing my music. It is impossible for anyone to survive saying 3 years you're not going to release a song. 3 years I've spent to release my new album that I'm going to release this week. But 3 years is like saying you're going to kill yourself. Because you say, long time ago we used to do a CD, and Kasiuke comes and gives you 100 million, he sells the tape to the people. Now, before a tape is sold anywhere, it is out everywhere. And the artist, why the artist is a problem is, you had other artists say, every week I'm releasing a song. So what they do is they come to NTV and give NTV a new video before I bring out my video. So the competition that I go through, I end up also releasing my song very quick. Which means I have no safety for my works. You can ask Paddy, what happens is, artists are coming every week, they're like, I want to make another song today, because you see, these guys are killing us, they're putting new music every day. Long time ago, it used to be, take your time, release the music.
Now we're in a rush.
Yes.
Padaman, what from your perspective as a producer?
I think everyone is accountable to this. The public, you are the consumers. You take music for free. You take someone's music for free. The artist, you're okay, most especially the upcoming artist. They feel okay if their song is played all over. And we have a number of artists who have the billboard mentality. All they're looking at is one day to appear on a billboard, no matter whether they earn money. And these people, it has happened to them, they appear on billboards and they pass by the billboards footing because they're not paid. All they want is to appear on a billboard. I would appeal to the public to be generous, or to appreciate these talents. Even the artist. One time I remember I had an argument with Eddie Kenzo before he did City Loss. I had an argument with him in the studio, and this was about copyright. And he was like, the big artists, they're suffocating, they're oppressing the upcoming. By that time he was an upcoming artist, and he was advocating for the upcoming artists. He wanted his music to be all over. I told him, how do you rate Uganda's music? Who is the best artist in Uganda? He said, Jose Chameleone. I said, according to what? He said, when he goes to cricket oval, it fills up. I said, what are the records? How many albums has he sold? How many CDs has he sold? He was like, no, he's a big artist now. He might say he's the big artist now, but you ask him, how many CD sales have you sold out?
So we have our artists releasing music, but there's no money to show for it.
There is no money to show up. It's all nothing. If they tell you I I had a show, and I got like 10,000 people. It means tomorrow you need to put up another show. These artists, they are like golf balls. They are being hit from Mbarara to Gulu, from Palisa to, they are moving every now and then because they survive on performances.
Not on this.
Nobody said, how many people would say, I bought a CD for Chameleon when I went to his show? It's all about attending a show once in a year, and then they go back home.
And then I can go and download it.
You don't need to download. Just move with your flash in a corner. You give it to someone with a computer.
So we have YouTube that pays for views.
Yeah.
iTunes buys your songs.
Yeah.
We have so you can put your music on some sites for free.
Yes.
Then you have people buying music like on, for example, Spotify. What opportunities are there for the new generation of artists?
Well, going to the digital world.
Yes.
Today, YouTube is a platform, but different people use YouTube and like in a different way, more than what the artist would want. Today I've been checking my new song that I put on YouTube, and someone else got it from YouTube and also put it again to make his own subscription. You get my point?
Yes.
But that person is in Mozambique. You get my point? So in Mozambique I cannot follow him. He's already, you see, everyone who goes on there, if he makes 100 people, he's paid through PayPal. They pay him money. So he has a subscription of Ugandan music, but in Mozambique.
Right.
You get my point?
Earning from your work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we're going to another level, whereby we have what they call TuneCore. TuneCore, you pay them money, and your music, whoever plays with it everywhere in the world, is handled by those guys. So what they do is you pay them for handling your music, but it's expensive for the artist who is beginning, because you will not understand how you're going to pay through PayPal, through Visa card and everything.
Right.
For the guy from Masaka who has sung his song and people like it in Uganda, does not know how to deal with PayPal, does not know, has never held a Visa card, he doesn't know how to do it, so he's going to be left in the dark. So what happens is, we need the industry to come up. And we need the government to look at the industry as Uganda, the music industry is bigger than tourism industry. Because before our music sold, you would never hear the name Uganda apart from the Idi Amin.
Idi Amin.
Now, I've done shows in Senegal, Ivory Coast, South Africa, Russia, where you don't expect even Ugandans to be, and you're like, someone is taking you to do a show, and you're like, but what will I sing? Will I? They're like, no, you don't worry, we have paid you, you come and sing. Which means our music has gone further than we think. Now, because our government is not looking at the industry as